idea functionally what I'm doing.
Months until I'm customizing my pussy lips. I'm very excited.
For fucking the giggles.
Yo, you ain't getting a candy bar, bitch.
I have one round left. Just enough for myself.
It's a podcast.
Wow.
We're missing a brother.
Yeah, he's hanging art.
My brother.
he's hanging his art.
Yeah. Art.
Hanging the art that he loves so much.
He isn't. He's got a person over and he can't use his computer, and he basically chooses anything besides his friends here at the podcast. That's
Someone broke into his house, sat at his computer,
Ooh.
and started emulating Raid Shadow Legends, and he can't get them to leave.
And that brings us to our sponsor today.
Dude, I've never played a mobile game in my life, and I would be like, "Oh, join my guild." If you...
Raid is so fucking good. I've played so many hours of it.
But Anthony, don't
endless.
you know you don't have to play it on your phone. You could also play it
On your PC, that's true, and
It's true.
tablet.
Wait, can you actually play Raid on PC?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I was actually see. I said emulate when I made the jokes. I thought you couldn't.
Nope.
Wow. All right.
Though
Not-
arguably you could run it on your PC, your tablet, emulate it also on your PC, have it on your phone. You could be your own clan.
It's true.
Just spend more money.
Oh, you have to play it.
Hey,
Do you have to play it through
Cadillac, please
Facebook? What is it?
sponsor us. Anyone, come on, sponsor us.
I'm gonna
Don't-
download and play on PC. Look at that. Holy fuck. Get it on Plarium Play.
What the hell is that? That sounds like a scam.
Probably the company that owns it.
Probably.
But their own launcher, because everybody has their own launcher nowadays.
I don't want to download Plarium. That just sounds like a disease.
Yeah, I don't know. Or it's like a rare precious metal.
Yeah.
They've crafted a shield from the finest Plarium.
Plarium. You know what? It's going in a fantasy campaign now.
Plarium? Yeah, there you go.
Plarium.
Captain Plarium.
He's a hero.
Captain Plarium. He's a hero.
Gonna take mobile data down to 0.
How much would the check have to be for us to pimp Raid Shadow Legends on this podcast? How
Not large.
Like $4?
$4? You heard it here, Plarium. Or whatever the fuck.
We each,
$4 at least each.
yeah, at least. No, even base. We each get a buck.
Well, they'll pay for I need 4, so they pay for like 1 monster can.
That's true.
Yeah, I need some peace tea at least.
I'm just saying that's the minimum. We will of course want to negotiate up from that. I'm just saying that's the minimum.
They're like, I don't think legally we can do that.
All right, time to look for a business email at whatever company.
I think we do have a business email.
We do.
No. I mean their business emails, so
That's
we can
true.
email them and be like, hey, for the low price of $12,
Whatever minimum amount you have to pay us.
Yeah,
we will
Richie's
pimp Raid Shadow
not
Legends.
here, so he doesn't get any money.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he gets
Well, you
cut
just
out.
you said $12, so
Oh yeah, that's true. My brain autocorrected to 3
you have
people.
already deleted Richie.
Alright, I already finished the
It's
math.
right out of the podcast.
Wow, that was quick. The second he started hiding the nerddom and hanging modern art, my brain just phased him out.
It's just dead to you.
Wow. Wow.
Gone.
As soon as he started talking about the Snyder cut, you're like, nope.
Yeah, the second he gave it 2 thumbs up, I was like, he's off the fucking podcast. All right. Executive decision.
Oh well, I guess
He's out.
Then I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. I wouldn't give it 2 thumbs up, but I would give it at least a thumb up.
See, that's fine. A Brandon scale of thumbs of a down. You want to just talk about Snyder Cut now? You want to just do it now
Before
instead
even
of at the end of the
weeks?
fucking thing?
Well, that's part of
Yeah,
my week. That's part of my week.
Sure.
Let
I'll
him
go
do his
first.
week first, which means we get to talk about Snyder Cut right now.
Okay.
All right, for part of my week, I watched the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I thought it was a huge improvement from the original. Huge. And before Justice League, I would have given 2 thumbs down. But
Now, what
from
would you give it? Thumb up, thumb down, or whore thumb? What's the combination of two
I would
thumbs that you give this movie?
I would give it a thumb up. Huge improvement. I
What's
think
the
they
other thumb doing though? Is it like a neutral thumb? Is it
it's
like
a
a
neutral
down thumb?
thumb.
Okay.
There's still problems with the movie. There's some stuff that because DC is still doing their own shit. They have other directors doing shit. That there's some continuity errors within the universe of DC. That
God is there. Whew.
I mean,
that
from what I understand, they actually improved some of that with the
there's
Snyder cut.
there's a lot better. Like things are better. Things are a lot better. That's why it's got a thumb up instead of two thumbs down. I
Right.
give it a thumb up for a lot of shit they did better. There's still some of those issues, and they created some other weird ones that it's like, but it's so much better, so much better.
I want to
Action,
like.
so much better. Acting from some of the people, like scenes that, in my personal opinion, just make it so much more real to me. Plus, the fact that it's rated R just really does it for me. In one scene,
It's rated R. Why
it
is it
is
rated R?
because there's fucking actual blood and gore, and I love it.
That's kind
In
of
what
cool.
in what scenes?
A lot of the fights with Steppenwolf, where he's actually hitting people, his axe just doesn't make people go fling like a rag doll. He actually cuts people.
I didn't know it was R rated.
He
That's
cut it at
actually
all.
shocking.
Do you guys mind spoilers at all?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Not in the slightest.
All
And I've
right,
seen a lot of the movie. I haven't
you know
watched.
what the
I wanted to be a little specific actually before we dig into this. You've obviously watched it.
spoiler warning
Well,
for
first of all, spoiler warning. Second of all, you've obviously watched it. From what I understand, Richie's watched it, but he's not here to talk about it. I haven't watched it, but I've seen. I think I watched 3 reviews of it that had a fair amount of clips, and I read a couple articles about it, but I have not seen the whole movie. So take my opinions with a bit of a grain of salt, because I have not watched it from beginning to end. I would if I had HBO Max, but I don't, because I would need to know. But I've seen a fair amount of it, and I've heard people give opinions on it. So anyway, go ahead.
So that scene in Atlantis when they're guarding the box.
Mm.
You guys remember the water witch Mira, I believe her name is.
Not in the slightest, but that's okay.
Nope.
There's a
does
water witch, and her name
She does
is
all the water magic.
okay.
Are you talking about fucking Amber Heard's character?
Yeah, Amber Heard's character.
Okay, yeah, okay, then I know who you're talking
I
about.
watched Aquaman, and I don't remember a single
Oh my God, you
scene
watched
from that
Aquaman.
movie.
You watched Aquaman and you don't remember. That's
I
because
did
Amber
not
Heard is what we
like-
call
I
a
did.
ball of charisma.
I didn't like that movie. Like,
I enjoyed Aquaman,
eh.
but that's a separate subject.
Yes.
So there's a scene where Steppenwolf is cutting everyone up, and it's actually blood in the water. So that in itself makes me like, yes, he's not ragdolling people, so it's kind of cool in that self. But he's literally holding her by her neck, and she makes this big water bubble, air bubble, not water bubble, and he's like, "You can't escape me," and she's like, "I'm not trying to," and she just starts sucking the liquid out of his body to where it's just like water at first, and then it starts ripping the blood out of him.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. Like from the original, none of that shit happened because they were trying to reach a younger audience and stuff. So she just starts ripping blood out of him to the fact that he has to slam her head against the wall and throw her back into the water.
I mean, were any of those scenes, was that entire segment even in the theatrical cut at all?
That scene was completely cut. Like he was in that area, and it showed him in that area taking the box.
Well, yeah, not
but
cut.
Yeah.
Remade for this
Remade.
cut. Yeah.
And I was like, that shit
Condensed.
awesome. That stuff was awesome. Scenes like that, where it was like the realism, the fighting, the redesign of Steppenwolf A was great.
Steppenwolf looks better than he did before. I still don't think that him or Darkseid look incredible, like in comparison to CG, like entirely CG villains that I've seen in other movies, like I don't know, Marvel movies or something like that. I don't think they look amazing, but they look better
I
than
think they look
anything
I
from the
think they look
theatrical.
pretty damn good. My personal opinion.
I don't think Darkseid looks fucking phenomenal. I think he looks okay, which
I
is fine. He doesn't need to look amazing, I guess, but he looks okay.
I like the explanation of the mother boxes. I like the whole that these are not even Darkseid's technology. These are just basically technology so advanced it looks like magic, and Darkseid literally found these one day and he's like, this is how we're going to conquer planets. Instead of just like, look at these random things. The explanation into what the hell they are is a lot better.
Yeah, I mean that's what I understand about the movie as a whole is that generally speaking, even I, and from what I've seen of it, even I, known DC Universe movie hater, not for just because I hate DC stuff, but because I legitimately just believe that a lot of the movies are kind of shit. Even this movie, I must say, appears to have been done a bit better. Things appear to have been explained a little bit better. Scenes make more sense because there's more of a build-up to things and an explanation to things that wasn't there in the theatrical cut of the movie. So, like, on the whole, it's definitely an improvement. It's a shame that, from what I can tell, if I haven't seen the whole movie once again, so take my opinions with a grain of salt, but from what I've seen of it, it's improved, but Zack Snyder couldn't help but get a few dumb Zack Snyder things in there before he left the series. Because, like, everything about it is improved, but then he had to put in that dumb fucking ending, and he had to, like, shoehorn in shit like Martian Manhunter with very little reasoning for it. Like, here's Martian Manhunter in a scene that legitimately kind of ruins the dialogue that came before it with Lois Lane and shit, where it's like, oh, here's this cool, like, heartfelt moment between her and Superman's mom. And it's very neat and it's well done. And you're like, wow, this is so much better than the shitty scene that they had in the theatrical cut in that like office where the dialogue was really stilted and shitty. And it's like, cool, he's doing a redo of that, but it's just better. And then she walks out and the mom walks out and becomes Martian Manhunter, and you're like, oh, that ruins everything. Like, like all of that heartfelt dialogue literally doesn't matter anymore because it wasn't the character that you thought it was. It was Martian Manhunter instead. And then you get to dumb shit like the ending where he's like, "Oh well, I can't end it on like my cool shit, like superhero shot of all my characters. It has to be this like weird apocalypse dream sequence with a really poorly CG'd version of Flash, like the actor that plays Flash, and like we have to get that Leto shit in there, and it's just like." He ends it in the most awkward, like Zack Snydery way, and like fucks up certain things. And like I've heard people complain from what I've seen that like Batman still doesn't do a lot in this version of the movie, even compared to the theatrical version. Like he does more, but he's still kind of like a hard side character that doesn't have a lot to do other than like shoot parademons with his car.
A big thing that I felt was that Batman, and they slightly explain it, and I think they do it better, is that he's trying not to take as much as a hard leader role because he felt that in Batman versus Superman, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I feel that it was.
I mean,
Eh.
nobody's a huge fan of Batman vs Superman. If you said that you were a huge fan of Batman vs Superman, I would immediately be like, I don't know, I can't trust your opinions, Rob.
But they're taking that kind of stance where it's like after the mistakes he made in Batman versus Superman, he's trying not to take as hard as a leadership role. He wants to fix his mistakes, and because he just literally did nothing but take charge, do whatever he felt, and not um, listen to others and let others do what they felt was right. That's why he's such a side character. That's what I kind of got a little bit.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's that the writers can't figure because the theatrical cut had the same issue, and the theatrical cut was kind of butchered, obviously, like we all know, by the Whedon reshoots and all that shit. There's this like weird false narrative that like even Red Letter Media appears to have completely forgotten that the Snyder cut never existed because they refer to a lot of the new scenes as like why would they have cut this? And as I'm watching the review, I'm like they didn't. These are reshoots. Zack Snyder had a large budget and he literally reshot all of this and had this stuff all newly done with CG and all that shit. But anyway, like even in the theatrical version, Batman had the same issue and he has the same issue here. I think it's just a matter of the writers not knowing how to make Batman do anything cool when he's surrounded by these larger than life heroic characters with all these powers and shit. So like this movie appears to falter in the exact same way that the last one did when it comes to Batman. Like he just doesn't have a lot of shit to do. I don't know if it's like a plot device. I just think they couldn't think of cool shit for the rich guy with technology to do when like Wonder Woman and Superman and Aquaman are like punching people through fucking walls and shit. It's like it seems like they just couldn't figure anything out for Batman, which is kind of unfortunate, but like he's handled better in this version of the movie than he was in the theatrical cut, but he's still not perfect from what I can tell. And that seems to be a complaint that a lot of people have. Still. That but like I'll fully admit, and I like you kind of mentioned it, but like I'll fully admit there's a lot of shit that's better. Like Flash has a cool opening scene
Oh, I
that he
love that. That Flash opening scene is amazing.
it's neat. It's cool. It's a better scene than he had in the entirety of the theatrical cut. He has apparently, from what I understand, and I saw a brief clip of it, that at the end, we already said spoiler alert, but at the end, like they fight they do the big dumb second fight, and like in the theatrical cut, Superman just solves the problem.
Yes.
But in this movie, apparently Flash solves the problem and has like a lot of agency where he otherwise did not in the previous movie. Um, and
It,
just shit like that. So like it's a better movie, but it still has some fucked up Zack Snyder shit in it from
yes
what I can tell.
and no. It's kind of like the whole team each had a part to play, and if each person fucked up, if any one of them fucked up their role, they lost.
Right. Which seems like a direct which is kind of what I'm saying. It's a direct reaction to the criticism of the first movie that I think a lot of people had, which was that it was written in such a way where everyone showed up and did some stuff. Sorry, I just burped straight into my mic. Everybody listening. Um, it was written in such a way that like everyone shows up for the big final moment, and then Superman just like solves the problem. So they remedied that in this movie by giving everyone something to do, and that's good. That's how the first movie should have fucking been. It should have been like that from the jump. They also got rid of. Didn't they cut the whole Did they cut the whole weird like Russian family thing?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's good.
That was a good thing that I agreed with them
It's,
cutting completely.
I believe the weird Russian family thing was a Whedon plot line, I think, which is probably why it's not there anymore. Um, but yeah, the movie's better. I haven't even seen it, and I can tell you that it's from what I have seen in the reviews that I've seen, like the general consensus appears to be it's a better movie than the theatrical cut. It appears like it's okay. Like I don't think I remember me and BB had a good chuckle because when early screenings of this movie came out, there was one dude who gave it like a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and we were like, "That's absolutely insane." Like, I don't think, I don't think this movie is like the pinnacle of cinema, and I don't even think it's like a perfect example of comic book movies from what I've seen and from what I've heard people say, but it's much better than the theatrical version. It's a shame that he's not doing anymore. Or maybe it's not a shame, because even though it's better, he's still I don't know what it is about Zack Snyder. Like even when he gets his weird chance at redemption that like everyone fought so hard for him to get, he still has to put like some really dumb shit in there and like show his hand a little bit. Like he couldn't have just ended it and been like, I made a good movie. He had to put like weird ham-fisted Martian Manhunter shit in there, and he had to have that weird dream sequence ending to give Jared Leto like one extra scene, and I don't understand it.
For me, it's like I'm really hyped that they got Martian Manhunter in there, and but everything that I've seen around it seems very poorly done.
My next
And it's
question was
like,
gonna be, have you seen the scenes? Like, do you know what
no.
I'm referencing?
Well, I mean, I also saw like a review, but that's just a review. I didn't see it, so that's why I'm, you know, not commenting that much because I don't know for sure. Um, but from what I was told by a third party is that um, it seems like Martian Manhunter was used so awkwardly, it might have been better to just not have had him in there at all.
I mean, that's literally the point that I've been making. last like
Yeah.
10 minutes is that both I don't know if he's in more than the two primary scenes that I've seen, but the way he's used is so just unfortunate. Like I don't even really understand it. The scene with Lois Lane and fucking Martha Kent would have been so much better if she walked out and that was the end of the scene. There was no reason for Zack Snyder to literally ruin the emotional impact of it by being like, it was actually Martian Manhunter. Why can't you just let those two characters have that moment?
You could argue, and I don't know where he's going with it, that it was set up for Martian Manhunter even being in the film later, A, and B, since he's not in the film at all anytime before it, that was them characterizing Martian Manhunter. You just didn't know about it.
It's just like it's so awkward though, because even when he shows up after the fact, it's not necessary. He
Right.
shows up to basically be like, listen, uh, more movies maybe because Darkseid's going to come back. When in reality, we know that that's not going to happen, or at least if it does happen, it's not going to be Snyder because he's said that already. Unless they cut him a fat enough check, then maybe he'll come back. But like, it's just so ham-fisted. Like
Oh yeah.
it's such a weird way to ruin the characterization of a completely different character by slipping in this one so that he can show up later to talk for like a minute.
Again, that's my only theory, having not seen the movie, is that the entire film is about beating up CGI men. So at the end of the film, you can't have green CGI men show up and assume the audience knows he good guy. So it's
Right.
like, okay, we have to have him a scene before. Fuck, what the hell do we do? He has a heartfelt conversation with another character, so you know he is a good.
But that's like such dumb.
I'm
That's like
not. I'm not saying. I'm not
I know.
explaining that as it's a good thing.
I know you're not defending it. I'm just saying, like, just
That's
to
the only like logical. It's bad, but it's the only logical thread I could
yes,
conjure out of that mess.
and just to make it clear, that is bad. Like,
Yes.
there is nothing about that that's good. In fact, you could have cut that whole scene, or not cut it, but like still had that scene where Lois is talking to Martha, and then they just like one of them leaves, and that's the end of the scene. They have a cool, heartfelt conversation, done. And then there's no Martian Manhunter, and then Martian Manhunter can still show up at the end. And even if people who aren't DC fans don't get it and are confused, that's fine. At least it's like a nice little nod to the people who do know who the character is when he shows up and goes, "Hey, let me tell you about the danger Earth is still in." Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then like everyone who's a DC fan goes, "Cool, he got some Martian Manhunter in there." You don't have to have him before that and ruin a scene in the process. Like it's very like shitty writing. And it's strange. And that's what I mean when I say that like the movie appears to be better than the theatrical cut in most ways, but Zack Snyder still found a couple places where he could like rear his ugly head and put all of his biggest cons when it comes to his filmmaking in there at least once. Like there's some awkward shit with the action scenes that I've seen a little bit where like Wonder Woman has a really sick action scene in this movie early on that I like a lot. That's like better than anything she ever did in the theatrical cut. But right at the end, there's such a Zack Snyderish moment where she like stops one dude with a gun by blowing him to shit and destroying the wall behind him and like blowing out the windows of the entire like face of a building, and it's like that's Zack Snyder. Like that's the Zack Snyder I know. That's the collateral damage I've come to expect from a fucking Zack
Collateral
Snyder movie.
damage. Yep.
So it's like it's really interesting seeing the clips of the movie and watching these reviews and being like, okay, where are the Zack Snyder tropes? And you can find them. Like they're very clearly there, hidden inside of a movie that is generally better than the cut that came before it.
Good
So
week. Good week, Robbie.
Yeah, I know.
congratulations everyone that bitched about the fucking Snyder cut for like how many years has it been since Justice League
A
came out?
few.
Oh, quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Everyone who fucking like literally harassed people and shit on Twitter and used the hashtag fucking Snyder Cut and shit for years, there's a very interesting backstory there with like, people going ape shit and literally like harassing producers and like people working at studios behind the theatrical cut, with the hashtag Snyder Cut and shit like that. But that's the darker backstory behind this new version of the movie that maybe not everyone wants to talk about. But congratulations, everyone who fucking threw that hashtag up there for fucking years. You got it done. Zack Snyder, your fucking knight in shining armor, came back to make a cut of the movie that's better than what came before it. Still has some fucked up shit in it though, but it's better.
Talented director steps over low bar. More at 11.
I didn't get your opinion actually, Rob. How did you feel about the way it ended with that like weird dream sequence and shit?
Messily done, but an interesting concept.
It
I-
just
I think that the concept was good, but messily executed.
felt like so unnecessary to have it. I don't know. In my opinion, like it didn't, like the movie didn't need it. It's very strange.
And like I said, thumb up and thumb neutral on the other one on the scale of thumbs. Very nice improvement. Not perfect. Needs, but very nice.
I at some point in the future, if I have access to HBO Max, which I should, but I don't, I may put myself through the fucking 4 hours just to have seen it myself from beginning to end and really form like a solid, lasting opinion on it. But who knows when the fuck that'll be?
Just steal it like everything else.
I could, I probably should, but I'm not versed in the how would you put it? The sailing the high seas, as it were, you know.
Look up the oath. Become awakened to the truth.
Otherwise, my week comprised of being disappointed in Risk of Rain 2's update.
Oh, oh no.
Because it's.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Before you
God.
get off the topic of Snyder Cut, can we all agree, while he's not here, that 2 thumbs up is just insane though? Like that's not right,
Well,
right?
he didn't he like the first one? Like he was disappointed by it, but he liked it.
Well, Richie, I love Richie, okay, but his cinematic opinions are kind of questionable because he's enjoyed
But I'm
previous
saying
DC
if
movies
that's his baseline and then it's
right.
improved, how could you not expect the double thumb?
Richard on the record as being like Jared Leto Joker is good, and like Batman vs Superman and like Man of Steel have redeeming qualities. So right away, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying 2 thumbs up for Snyder Cut seems a little fucking excessive. That's like the guy giving it a 100. As someone who invented Brandon's scale of thumbs,
You're
As
insulted by
the
his use of
inventor
thumbs.
of the scale of thumbs,
2 thumbs
I
up.
give his opinion 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do. On Brandon's scale of thumbs, Richie's scale of thumbs usage is 2 thumbs down. 100%. Absolute.
Give him
Absolute.
the Left 4 Dead 2 thumb bite off.
Yeah. It's 0 thumbs. It's not even 2 thumbs down.
It's 2 middle fingers up.
It's 2 ingested thumbs. Thumbs up excessive. That's the 100 on Rotten Tomatoes guy. That's what Richie is.
Richie's the 100 on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's what the equivalent is. 2 thumbs up. That's what that is. That's excessive. Anyway, go ahead. Tell me all about Risk of Rain. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am disappointed in Risk of Rain's 2 update because they put Bandit in.
Oh, I gotta download that. Oh my god.
In tomorrow is their anniversary update, March 25th. The newest survivor they are adding is Bandit.
Oh yes.
You're disappointed, but Anthony is hype.
Bandit was my
Anthony-
favorite goddamn character in the original Risky.
and I am sorely disappointed. The community voted, and they didn't want Bandit. And
Well, the community was fucking wrong. Guess who was right? This guy right here.
no, you're not right. Guess what? Your opinion is wrong.
Apparently,
Wow. On
Hopo Games disagrees.
on
No,
brand
Hobo
scale of
Games,
thumbs,
fuck
what
you.
would you rate his opinion, Rob?
I give it the bitten off thumb from Left of Red 2.
Wow. All right, we can't
Damn.
establish this as a. This is not how branded scale of thumbs works. Okay? It was funny the first time. It can't. We can't do it. We can't do it. 2 thumbs down for Anthony's opinion of Bandit. That's
But
not me, though.
we are we're getting. I am disappointed because Bandit was literally just a reuse of models that they have, or when they were first making this game. So that is why I'm sorely disappointed, more so than anything. It was literally when they were. It was literally when they were first coming up with Risk of Rain 2. They had a model that looked very similar to Bandit. They scrapped it, and then they worked on the rest of the game. So when the anniversary edition was coming out, and they were like, "We're going to put in a new survivor," and they put polls up and everything for what they wanted, and Bandit didn't even make the top 3 of those new things that people voted on. So when they're like, "We're putting in Bandit," and people figured out that Bandit was just old assets that they're just reusing. That is why I am sorely disappointed in the Risk of Rain 2 anniversary update.
Understandable. I think that's all entirely very fair. Cause yeah, like that was you were able to mod Bandit in because there were so many assets used. So to hear that
Yeah.
it's just like an official release of those assets is kind of like insane for the anniversary.
Yep, their 2 year
um,
anniversary.
but hey, you know what? Hopefully it's a sign of good things that like they will continue to develop it. So maybe next year we get another Survivor or something.
No, 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 no. Before the end of the year, quarter 4 of 2021, you'll have your first expansion pack that you have to pay for.
Oh, that could be okay.
With new survivors, multiple new survivors, new bosses, new enemies, new items, new stages, new random events, new interactables, new elite types, new game mode, a new item tier, new alternate final stage, a new alternate final boss, and new
Damn.
music. They're hoping to put about 2 to 3 updates worth of content into this expansion, but you gotta pay for it.
How have they said how much it's going to cost or no?
They have not talked about a price.
Okay. When's that coming out? Have they said
They
or
just
no?
said they say quarter 4 of 2021,
Okay, but no price.
but no price. But like I said, I am disappointed because it's assets that they already have. That they were just like, we're putting an anniversary too. Be hyped, guys. And speaking of Risk of Rain 1, that
I should play more Risk of Rain 2. I played it
I'm
when
gonna be
it came
playing the
out.
shit out of it tomorrow.
Actually, I got it. I think. I
Me
think I got it for a bunch of people when it came out because I wanted people to play it with, and then I played it for like a week, and then I stopped playing it.
You send me a message, I will always be down to play Risk of Rain.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
I
see.
literally have all the artifacts, all I have almost every achievement as well in that game.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Risk of Rain 2. Speaking also of Risk of Rain, I picked up the first one just to have something to do
It's so
because I
good.
got. It's very different.
Oh yeah.
It is quite different.
I think I prefer the
Definitely,
first one to the second one, honestly.
most definitely not.
You always love you
Uh,
first.
but but it is very interesting. Some of the enemy like bosses and stuff, I know they're going to be recycling a lot of shit from the first game into the second one. Um, as these expansion packs come out. So there's some bosses that I've been running into in Risk of Rain 1 that I'm like, just throw these in too. Like some of these are really cool, like the Ancient Wisp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, these are cool. These are interesting. I would love to see them work on a 3D model and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
as much as I love the first one, the lava zone fucking sucks and that boss fucking sucks. I would be glad if that never fucking comes back.
When's the last time you played Risk of Rain 2, Anthony?
Let me pop open Steam real quick. It was a while ago.
Last time I played was about a week ago. It will be
Because
a
I
week.
know when because like I said, I got it, and I think I don't remember who I bought it for, but I bought it for a few people, and then um when I had played it in early access, I remember kind of being of the same opinion at the time that like maybe the first game was better, but I think that was just because there wasn't as much shit in it, you
True.
know? So at this point it might be better than the
I have unlocked everything for every survivor and beaten the game with them on Monsoon to unlock their alternate skins.
wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Also, it's looking like
Look at Rob
six
flaunting
months.
his EP.
6 months ago.
It has been a while though since I've played, and they've also changed the final boss since I played and beaten the final boss on Monsoon. Because before the final boss, when he goes into his final stage and he does his bullshit, you used to be able to shoot him before or while he was doing his bullshit. Now you can't because they're like, let's not allow that bullshit. I was like,
Thing I remember about Risk of Rain 2, and I don't think he's gonna listen to this, but I hope he does. If Richie is listening, whenever this gets uploaded, the only thing I know about Risk of Rain 2 is I learned very quickly, very early on, that if I don't rush every item I see before Richie gets it, I will not have shit.
Richie is a loot goblin.
I learned this very quickly, where I was like, just share the loot a little bit,
I'm gonna
like
pull up Risk of Rain 2 right now. We'll
it's
turn on right
fucking
now.
kind of You just realize that like Richie's covered in tons of shit, and I'm like a little baby, and I'm dying, and I'm like, where'd all
Yeah,
the
as
loot?
soon as you die, all the loot is gone for you.
I'm like, oh, I see where all the loot went. It went onto Richie's body, where he's chunking everything.
When you played,
You
what was
fucking
the
loot goblin.
survivors you had? If you guys played like 6 months ago,
Yeah, I
there
think I had
was
everything the game had at the time.
there wasn't a lot out. If you guys played like 6 months ago, I can
No, but everything, but there were things you had to unlock, and I had unlocked all of them, and then I stopped. Like it was like, uh, the fucking invoker stand-in, which I believe was called Artificer,
Mm.
yeah.
Mercenary, something else.
Let's see.
I don't remember what else you had to unlock.
Let's skip the intro. Let's go to single player. Let's see. Our survivors are, as of right now, you have Commando, Huntress, Multi, Engineer, Artificer, Mercenary, Rex, Loader, Acrid,
I
Captain,
stopped
and
playing before they put Rex in. Like everything before that is what was there when the game came out in early access, and then before Rex, I stopped.
well, now
I
you got
stopped
Rex,
very early on.
you have Rex, Loader, Acrid, Captain, and now Bandit.
Oh yeah, I don't have Captain either. That's right. I think I
Well,
need
to
to
get
get Rex Captain, and I'm gonna need to get Bandit, obviously.
you got Loader.
Yes.
All right. I can't remember if I helped you get Acrid or not.
I don't either. We'll
And then
find
they
out.
have their loadouts, which give them different moves they can get.
I need a lot of those. I got some of them, but I don't have the most of them. I don't really give a shit about skins and
Well, yeah, the skins
stuff
are
like
I
that.
get because I like different looks because I'm a weirdo.
Get it 'cause it makes your EP look large. That's why you got it.
Well, because specifically the mercenary, like he's got his default skin, and then his secondary skin makes him look like an actual fucking samurai,
Large EP.
large peen. And then there's artifacts, which legitimately change everything about the game.
Some of
Like
them are very good.
other ones are actually horrible, but are fun.
Yeah, oh yeah. And you can mix
But
and match for the horrible fun.
exactly, the horrible fun, like the one everyone uses, artifact of command. You choose your items. You don't get random items. You pick them. You make your broken builds. I remember having to look for all of these bullshit artifacts and having to get the fucking combos for all of them.
Now you
Took me
just get them.
fucking. Oh no, I had to find each combo to get each of these artifacts.
Oh no, what I meant was using that one artifact that you could pick things. I thought you were talking about build combos.
Oh no, build combos are always still fun. I played just like Risk of Rain without the artifacts, but God, is it fun just play with these artifacts sometimes.
Hmm.
Like Artifact of Kin, monsters will only one type of monster will appear per stage. Do you like Elder Lemurians? That's the only thing appearing on this stage.
Oh God.
Do you like Stone Titans? That's the only thing appearing on this stage. It's a lot of fun.
What did you do your week, sir? Anything at
Otherwise,
all?
otherwise, I just was an adult and did random things around my house that I needed to get done.
Nice. Did you hang any art?
I did not hang on any of the art.
That's good.
I helped my girlfriend set up her PS2 in my room. So
Nice.
she's
Nice.
been playing some classic PS2 games I had lying around.
Like throwing out. Let's judge
Jack
her.
and Daxter,
Okay.
Sly Cooper 2.
All right.
Sly Cooper was one of my favorite PS2 games. That was a. We got some other ones that we had on like a pirated disc that just downloaded a bunch of games. I think I'm gonna get her to play the Baldur's Gate games. Like,
I'm gonna give you my copy of the Unholy War,
No.
just so I could subject more people to that horror.
No. You actually have a copy of Unholy War?
I actually have a copy of
You
Unholy
have a
War.
physical copy of Unholy War? I
I
mean,
have-
I do too. That's because I.
Tori, you can't see Anthony until he gets rid of his copy of Unholy War.
How the fuck did you get a physical copy of Unholy War?
I seriously don't recall.
You must have bought that because, like, I'm trying to remember. Like, as kids, you didn't have that, did you?
Yeah, I borrowed it from you.
Right.
I didn't
but,
own it,
Right.
which
So
is
later
why I
on,
don't know where it came from.
you must have bought that shit later in life just because you saw it and you were like, yeah, man, fucking Unholy War, dude.
I hope I did it not that much later in life. I hope I was still a child because one, I would be ashamed of my own intelligence, and two, the fact that I don't remember making that purchase is also scary. If it was like, it could have been
Weird.
yesterday for all I know.
Could have been some demon that crept into your room because you said the word Unholy War too many times.
Or
I
just enough
bought it.
times. I think the only PlayStation 1 games I have, I think I have Armored Core Master of the Arena, I have Warhawk, and I think I have Unholy War, and I think those are my only
Holy fuck,
PlayStation 1
Warhawk.
games
Oh my god.
that I still physically own. I
I
never
forgot about
sold.
Warhawk.
So did Sony.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they really did.
They did so hard. They tried a little bit in the PS3 era, and then they were like, eh.
Yeah, I just saw that. I googled it quickly and saw I forgot that they did make another one, right? This is like a sequel, but on PS3.
No, it was an online only multiplayer shooter.
Oh wow.
It was
Okay.
really not great. There were other vehicles. eh, It was I bought it and played it, and definitely wasn't Warhawk. It was fine, but it wasn't Warhawk. And then they did literally the same game but with a more sci-fi skin. Like it wasn't sci-fi enough. They made it more sci-fi called Starhawk like a couple years
Yeah,
later.
I saw that too.
That one died even faster. Like like Warhawk people didn't really like and it died in like a year. Starhawk came out and I think after a month they were like, "Okay, we're shutting this down."
That's why Sony forgot about Warhawk.
Yep.
So it doesn't exist anymore.
But soon, Battle Royale, Warhawk.
No, stop.
No, come on. Actually, that would be really sick. You're just in a big arena. There's 100 fucking jet fighters, and it's like last man standing.
Yeah.
That would be like the coolest game ever, actually. Sony, write me a check.
You say that until you play it, and you're like, it doesn't play so good. I don't know.
Well,
It's
yeah,
horribly
it's-
monetized. Games as a service.
No, you could sell skins. You don't have to do anything too crazy.
Wow.
You could be all the famous jets.
Oh God, no, not
Question mark.
skins.
Everything has skin.
Hey, Everything has a skin.
Sorry, we are ruining your week, sir.
Oh no, I'm good. I was just figuring you guys were bullshitting at this point.
Because he was done anyway.
Okay.
So the Warhawk conversation was totally fine.
Totally part of your week. Go.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
Warhawk's not part of mine. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We're talking about your PS1 games, which means this is now your week.
Okay, so my week. So this is what I did. Is I played MechWarrior Online. Not much to say. I ground out the event to get the free mech. I only paid in time. That's fine.
I too did this as well. Wow.
And then I bought
Is it a
and
fun game?
played. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is it a fun game?
I like it. It's very
Not bad.
It's very team dependent, but it's not quite as aggravating as most team dependent day games, because I think it's a lot more player per player than most team based games. So if you're pretty good, you could still walk away from like a match where your team just fucking is terrible and go, well, I did good and I had a good match and stuff like that. So I enjoy it. I mean, I like BattleTech. The gameplay's really good. It requires a little bit of meta knowledge, but not a crazy amount. And it's fun to just set up your own little war machine, do some weird stuff, and blow up other people and mechs. And
Definitely. I've
sometimes you
come to the.
get matched with a Khajiit, and other times, there
No, we don't talk about that.
there's a guy that we played with that for some reason had his night vision on the entire game on a day map, which was really weird. And it,
Two of them actually. The
it
other one died too fast.
yeah, it probably cost us the game.
Definitely did.
Why did it cost you the game? What does having his night vision on have to do with anything?
He couldn't see for shit, and there was only one other enemy mech that was a light, and he was in a medium or a heavy. He was in a heavy, and he
Okay, who's gonna
lost.
have it? Was he like a mauler?
No, I think it was a warhammer.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, he had like a weapon advantage. He had a tonnage advantage. All he had to do was hit the pipsqueak, and he couldn't do it because he was too busy seeing in the dark during the day. So sometimes stuff like that happens.
Yeah, but it's not. I file MWO into like this same folder as some other games where it's like I don't really give a shit when I lose.
Hmm.
It's not a game I really take seriously because like it doesn't feel overly competitive. I just kind of I jump in however my game goes. This is how it goes. I don't really give a fuck if I win or if I lose or even if I die in like fucking 15 seconds. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's also helpful that it's not like matches aren't like a terrible time sink either. Like it's like team games. Like I don't understand how any of you play MOBAs, because
Why?
it's
How
like
long is the game for you?
in MechWarrior Online, it's like 10, 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay, that can be how long a game of League lasts. It depends.
Could be.
I would assume, even as someone who's never played League but knows a lot about MOBAs, I would strongly assume that that's on the quick side of a League match. That's probably if one team is stomping.
That is what happens when you play rank.
Why? Because people are actually good in ranked and understand how to like end a game. Is that what you're implying?
No, what happens is when you are in rank, when one team gets ahead, the other people are like, "Well, it's over, surrender."
Oh, it's like that kind of community? That's great,
Yep.
dude. It sounds like Smite. I love that.
Yep.
That's part of the reason why I can't play Smite anymore is because if you start losing and you have one guy on your team that's like, oh, it's over, and then he votes to surrender like fucking 5 minutes in because he lost his lane or some shit.
Yep.
God, I can't stand that.
That's the one part of the League community I can't stand, which is why I play with 3 friends usually. That
Yeah,
way
that's
they
smart.
can't actually surrender with. They can't actually surrender. But it's
You know
also
what the
why I
problem is with
play
that though,
rank.
because this is what we would run into in Smite. 'Cause I would do the same shit where I would be playing with like Richie and BB and stuff, and sometimes Matt. The problem is even in Smite, you have that one guy on the team who's like, "Nah, man, we lost," and he votes to surrender, and then none of you vote, and then he just like AFKs and just ruins the match.
Nice.
You know, it's like he
Yeah,
just
there's a
does
few
toxic
instances
shit
like that.
instead, where he like runs down lane and feeds over and over again because he realizes so
Yeah,
much.
most people who do that though in League get reported and then their account gets banned.
That's fine, but that doesn't save the match that I'm playing currently. You know,
Yeah, it gets a little rough, but that's usually ranked. When you play normals, everyone will play it normally usually, which is why because I play with like 3 people or like 2 other guys, I can't play ranked.
that's honestly one thing I love about Dota is that there's no surrender function. So you're fucking stuck in, dude. Like you have to try from beginning to end, and I like that. Forces people to play the fucking game instead of just AFKing and hitting surrender. God, I hate that shit. I'm having like PTSD flashbacks to the absolute trash fire that is the fucking Smite community. It's so bad. Anyway,
So I played MechWarrior Online.
We both
Um,
had a little like talks there for
no,
a
it's
sec.
good. It's good. And then I bought and played Stars Die, which
Hmm.
is a
yeah, I saw you playing that and I looked at it and I don't want to use the word shocked that you were playing it, but it was kind of interesting.
well, why would that be?
I don't know. I saw it and I was like, it's like a completely narrative driven like walking simulator horror game, and it just doesn't strike me as something that I see you playing very often.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like my walking simulators. Um, and this is a walking simulator. I was slightly misled because it's implied there's kind of like an interesting narrative focus, and it's not really that interesting of a narrative focus, honestly. Um,
It's like your opinion, man.
no, it is.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting. I both like it, like I respect it, and I don't. In that there's only 5 characters, including your character, and most of them are really goddamn set in their ways. So even though you can like talk to them, you can't really influence what they're going to do. Um, and there's kind of like this ticking clock thing in that they're researching. Essentially, the background of this game is that Earth is dying. It's literally just eating itself in this location, and no one knows what the fuck why. And then a year later, just a fucking flesh mountain appears in the middle of the ocean, like kinda not too far from it. And you're part of the research team that's just trying to figure out what the fuck is happening right now.
That's
Um,
interesting.
Yeah, the premise is very interesting. I like that the characters are set of their ways. There's kind of a ticking clock element because they're going to be doing the research independent of you. Like, you could be part of that research and you could talk to the people and whatnot. You could also just dick off on the island, and eventually the end will come regardless of what you have been doing or not doing. That's really cool. The problem is the ticking clock is way too long. It takes forever for the characters to like get into position and then to do the task unless you talk to them. So
Mm.
there's not really a ticking clock. That said, visually it's fucking really cool. Thematically, it's pretty goddamn cool. If you like cosmic horror, you'll find this neat as hell. Um, there's a lot I like about it, and a lot that was kind of like misleading and disappointing. So on Anthony's scale of thumbs, it's 1 thumb up, one solidly down. There's a
Come
lot
on,
of
it's Brandon's skill thumbs. You're just loaning it for me.
right, yeah. This particular brand is mine.
No, it can't be. I've copyrighted this.
It's a
You can't.
branch. It's a branch
No,
office.
no, it's not a branch office. I own this company. Okay, you can't. You're using Brandon's scale of thumbs. Say
I
it.
am the
Say
captain.
on Brandon's scale of thumbs. And then say your thumbs. It's my scale of thumbs.
No, but it's not your thumbs. It's my thumbs.
It doesn't matter if it's your thumbs. I own the system. I own the
Who
system.
has 2 thumbs and is rating this game?
I
Anthony,
own.
right
No,
now.
no. Yeah, but I own the scale. I own
Okay.
the scale.
Using
I own the
my
scale. No,
comparing
my
my
lawyers will call
hold
you.
on, hold
Don't
on,
do that.
hold on. We got this. My thumbs, when applied to Brandon's scale of thumbs,
Yeah, there
leads
you go.
this game at a thumb up, 1 thumb down. There's a
That's
lot
cool.
of things I like about this game, and there's a lot of things I solidly dislike about the game. If you buy it and play it, it's got like a PS1 low poly aesthetic, which I fucking love, especially in horror, because that's when I was developing and I encountered a lot of horror games. It has a pixelation filter on it. Turn that shit off unless you want your eyes to bleed. It makes the alien environment look way more alien,
I
but it also
I
really hurts. Like, it
I hate that
hurts.
shit.
It
There's a lot of
physically
games.
hurts.
There's a lot of games that do that nowadays where they're like, look, we have like this retro art style going on, but like and like the art style looks good on its own of its own merits, but then they're like, let's also slap this obnoxious filter over it to make it look even more retro, and it's like it always just makes it look worse. Like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. I think Blasphemous has a few options like that. Turn that shit off instantly. Loop Hero starts with like a CRT filter on it, starts by default, and it looks like absolute dog shit. Like I can't stand that.
But yeah, Stars Die, $5, pretty worth it. Um, I watched two movies, and
2 movies?
yeah,
You had a fucking productive week. Let's
I
go,
did,
dude.
and I feel really bad because I can't remember the name of one of the movies.
Must not have been that good of a movie.
No, it was well, okay. It was it was interesting. Oh boy, I'm far more conflicted about that movie than even I was about Stars Die, because it's a horror movie. It's indie. It's about basically a runaway girl goes into a sleep study. She keeps seeing like basically a sleep paralysis demon,
Ooh.
and
Wait, is this the one you don't know the name of, or is this the
this
one
is
you
the
know
one
the
I
name
don't know the name of.
of? Okay.
Um, and it's implied that sleep paralysis demon is a primal fear that everyone shares for a reason, like as if it is an entity in itself.
That it is actually something there.
Right, yeah. So, the sleep study program turns out to be like investigating that and da 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 da. Long story short, um, it
Hold on, are
was
you about to like spoils
no,
this?
I'm not.
You should probably spoil warning it.
I'm not. Don't worry.
Spoiler warning, just in case.
Or just don't spoil it if it's
I
actually a decent movie
I
and you're recommending it to me, because I would watch it.
I
But if it's
promise you
not,
guys, I'm not spoilering.
okay, I'm
Don't
just
worry
saying.
about it.
All right. Well, I
Um,
mean, every definition of spoilers are different. Okay, so
Well,
I
he
gotta.
doesn't even remember the name of the movie, so.
That's true.
yeah,
He doesn't.
I don't know the
Also,
name.
must not be good.
So maybe one day you'll be watching a movie and you'll be like, maybe I was spoiled
Oh,
this.
this is that movie that he was talking about.
Anyway,
That son of a bitch spoiled me.
I did
So
not. I'm not
fast.
spoiling shit. Long story short, it's like really intriguing, really good. The dream sequences are awesome. Then it starts to get stupid, then it meanders, then it gets really bad, and they save it at the end.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And by save it at the end, I don't mean it's like, oh, it's a good movie. It was like, okay, this was almost a terrible movie, and now they merely saved it. You know? So, good on them. It was probably the best use of a trope I absolutely hate. It's literally saved the movie, so more proof that tropes are tools. They're not uniformly bad nor good. Um, I don't know if I would recommend it because I can't even remember the name. So even if I did,
Really?
I will have remembered it by now. So you'll see the picture and probably the text will be on screen. And I'll tell
Where
you
did you
guys
watch
what it
it?
was. The secret of the oath, my friends. I have told you this
Oh,
forbidden knowledge, and
all
you
right.
will also see things.
Okay.
Um,
Yes. Wow.
and so I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it.
High seas, you would say? Out on the high seas.
Yes, yes. That's where I see literally all of my content.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have cable. Um, I would give it
Huh.
2 whore thumbs, honestly.
Wow. 2 whore thumbs. All right.
Yeah, I'm very neutral about it because there are things that I like about it, but just that it starts to get so fucking bad, and that they only kind of save it like, and again, it's so barely a save that at the end of all of it, it's not like, oh yeah, and like it still drags down the good parts of the movie, you know. So, um,
A whore thumb is a horizontal thumb for you uncultured fucks watching this podcast.
they're
Okay.
aware of what the whore thumb is.
Well, maybe they're not. You know,
It's
I have to
there's
pretend like people are clicking on this for the first time and might not know what
true.
whore thumb is.
Yeah.
It's not happening, but I have to pretend like it is.
And then the other movie I watched was The Empty Man.
The
Um,
end. To Google I go.
this movie was so fucking awesome. I loved it. Nothing has sucked me in quite like a movie like this. The ending wasn't great, I don't think. It was actually very similar to another movie that I watched that I can't remember the name of, but that I actually reviewed on this on podcast. Um, but holy Christ, like it was like the most drawn in I've ever been in a movie intro ever, and it takes like 20 minutes before there's even a title drop. It's insane. It's shot extraordinarily well. This is apparently based on like a comic book, and they just gave a crap ton of money to like this director who's never directed anything. They're adapting a comic book, and it's not like a Marvel or DC, it's Boom Comics that no one gives a shit about, but they threw money at this project, and then they didn't market it, so it did fucking awful. Um
Yeah, from the
Love
IMDb
those.
trivia. One of the last films that Fox, one of the last films from Fox that was made before they were acquired by Disney. The film was quietly dumped into theaters and made so little money that even a home video release on DVD was deemed non-profitable.
yeah,
Wow.
you can
Damn.
only watch this via the high seas or renting it on Amazon Prime. You can't buy it on Amazon. You
What?
can't.
It's not even a free offer on Amazon Prime.
No,
You have,
no.
damn.
It's weird. They put so much money into this project, and I think it's just because of the buy up and Disney's riding that fucking Marvel dick so hard that like another comic book thing, like this thing was fucking murdered, and it's a shame because it's real good except for the ending, but it sucks you in like genuinely like unnerving visuals and scenes, and like a lot of horror doesn't do it for me, and this thing was making like my hair stand up. It
Ooh.
it's the how strong the intro is kind of makes the rest of the movie feel a little bit like a letdown, but it has such a strong opening, and even the rest of the movie is okay. It's not bad. It's okay, and then there's like a lame ending. If you're depending on how you feel about like kind of darker endings, I thought it
About
was
that.
okay.
I was about to ask without spoilers, does it stick its ending? But I feel like you just kind of answered that for me.
I think it does. I watched it with my father, and
It was an okay ending.
him not so much, just because it's again, it's not it's it's not a good ending. It's a it sticks it, but then there's that one leg out, you know, when they do the routine and they land it, and then they like just take that one extra step, and you still think that the routine was good and that landing was still pretty good, but you just hear the commentator just go like, ooh, ooh, that stumble, that's gonna cost him, and
Ah, I see. One of those guys.
yeah, that's essentially what that happened. I was fine with it, but
Where your dad was like, "Ooh, that stumble."
yeah, yeah. And also, I could just see it as like a general audience very much hating it. Um, but I thought it was good overall. The first fucking 20 minutes, I don't care who you are, watch The Empty Man up until the titles pop up at least, and that will be a 10 out of 10 experience, no matter what your tastes or opinions or whatever's.
I mean, I'm looking at IMDb and it's not particularly well rated, but there's some people giving it good reviews, and I don't even always trust that shit because like I watched like It Comes at Night, and there's a lot of fucking morons poorly rating that, and I really liked that movie. So maybe I'll watch this on your
You should. You should
recommendation.
fucking watch it. I'm telling you, man. The first 20 minutes are crazy, and then again, the rest of the movie's good, and it sticks the landing. But for how good that opening is, it's kind of like eh, and that's just because of how good the opening is.
I watch it.
Um,
I've been looking for a good spook movie recently, and I can't really
that's a
find.
damn good spooker, I would say.
I would watch the spooker, but I have someone who literally can't stand like Chucky in my house.
Yeah,
Like they're like, no, you can't put Chucky on. It freaks me out too much.
I mean,
I was like, really?
there's no dolls that wisecrack, so maybe, but
Maybe
yeah, I understand. If you have some free time to yourself,
rarely, but I'll see.
No, I don't
um,
know if you already did it, but on Brandon's on loan scale of thumbs to you, what would you rate this?
I'm gonna give it a two thumber
A two thumber?
up.
Two, we
Those
got a two
both those
thumbs up
thumbs are up.
Holy shit, a two thumber.
for a horror movie.
Damn.
Spooker.
Would you say that this is like as entertaining of a watch as like Hereditary? Or is it not that good? I want to know what I'm getting into here.
Hmm. Well, I have to think about it, so that should
That's
tell you
yeah, that's
where it's kind of like sniping at.
okay. All right. Well,
I would say not as good as Hereditary, but good.
all right. I'm interested. I might watch this, and I'll report back. I may watch it at some point in the next week.
And that was my week.
That was
Cool.
a good week.
Your weeks were much longer than mine's gonna be. I didn't do a fucking thing. I played. I didn't watch anything interesting. I just played Warhammer 2 a little bit because of the free LC. I played. I continue to play. Sorry, what?
How was the free LC?
This is all right. I like Rakarth a lot. I kind of mentioned before he was even out, and I was talking to Richie about it on the podcast, that Rakarth appeared to be a better Dark Elf Legendary Lord than every other Dark Elf Legendary Lord, including the ones that you pay for.
Dang.
And he absolutely is. I just think he's more fun to play because he doesn't come with horseshit mechanics that turn your campaign into a challenge campaign like fucking Malice and Hellebron do, and I kind of can't stand that shit. And Rakarth is just like, here's mechanics that are just fun and unique. So I enjoy him. What the fuck else did I do? I played a little bit of Loop Hero because I'm still trying to finish it. Not a lot though, to be completely honest. And then most of what I did with my week, honestly, was stuff I'm probably not going to talk about that much because it was just me working on some shit on my old PC for like pretty much every day since the last time we recorded. And that's kind of just what I've been doing with my life, is trying to finish foolishly working on like multiple projects at once, but being very close to finishing one. And I'm kind of excited about it. It's okay. I'm not going to talk about it too much. I don't think it's particularly exciting for people to listen to, but like that's what I've been doing. I've been working on a track a lot, playing the same shit I usually play, and I've done nothing of note that's new or exciting. So that's pretty much my week.
Nice. Okay. Let's get to news.
Got mine out of the way real quick.
Richard's dead. And his dying wish was to give Snyder Cut two thumbs up. That's it.
Yeah,
His dying wish was the two thumbs up, and Brendan said, "Fuck that."
a waste of a wish.
Yeah.
Brendan is Shenron. He says that wish is beyond my power.
That's a nice Dragon Ball Z pull. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you.
I'm Shenron, but only when it comes to denying overly positive reviews of DC Universe movie.
So, first bit of news is PlayStation 5's VR. The controller has been shown. It's got some neat features. Basically, the touch.
See this in the thing?
Yeah, basically the touch feedback of the regular PlayStation 5 controllers being moved into that.
Oh,
And
yes.
the main use of that is, since it's, like kind of like,
Or no.
yeah, well, since it's kind of like, I guess, ratcheted, you could say, is that it would be better individual finger tracking than most other controllers. So the controller looks really neat. Um, Besides that, I mean, it's fucking VR. It's not out yet. Who knows? But the controller concept is neat. You'll be able to do finger stuff. You know, like the porn.
Like the porn. I don't know. It's cool news, I guess. I'm so like out of the VR landscape that I just kind of shrug stuff like this off, but it's neat,
I
I
kind of,
guess.
I kind of want to try out that stuff. I have no fucking room for it, but
Yeah. I when I got my new PC, I considered it because I was like, oh, I could actually like run VR stuff, and I kind of want to play Half-Life Alyx, but I don't know. I'm so like I don't know, just not into the concept of the control scheme for VR games. But that's just me.
um, the
I
net.
like my good old
Sorry.
mouse and keyboard, you know what I mean? Like I hate this like gimmick shit. I
I
like my
just
mouse.
honestly, yeah, for me it's less the controller and it's more just, the screen on my face with like look attached to
Yeah.
it. Like that for the immersion, I want to experience that. I want to dip my toe into that. Um
You
Controllers
could get like
maybe.
sick of it eventually, you know? Like I think I've said this before on the podcast, but it's like a big thing that keeps me from wanting to get like a VR setup is that I'm pretty sure eventually it would just wear on me and I would go back to not using it. Because it would just be a pain in the ass. Like, oh, every time I want to play Resident Evil 8, I got to strap this fucking thing to my face. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I just feel like eventually I would get sick of it and it would kind of lose its hold on me. I would lose interest, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just old, you know? Maybe I'm getting old. I don't understand these newfangled gimmicks. Am I too old? Help.
Was not helping you.
Is VR the future? Am I just ancient? Sitting here being like, I don't want to strap the screen to my face, Anthony.
No,
I just
you know
want
what?
to keyboard.
I think the main detractor to VR is the same thing that like when hoverboards came out, I just kind of like rolled my eyes and sighed heavily. Is we we grew up on the lie of VR and like holodecks and shit, and we're oh, I can't wait for fucking VR. Hoverboards, fucking hovers off the ground, shit yeah. And then like, this is the first version of VR, and it's like you have joysticks strapped to your hands and a screen to your face, and the hoverboard has wheels, and you just go, oh, guess I have to wait 10 years. But I mean that's it's the stepping stone. It's gotta start kind of crappy for the cool shit to kick off.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's crappy. I just might be too ignorant. I don't know. Because I've heard people say VR is cool, and once you play it, it's like, wow, it's
Oh,
so cool.
well, also, I mean, it's the age we live in. There's so much crap to do. To then like invest in more crap to do, it's like even though it's leisure crap, it's like Christ.
I mean, I don't know
It's
about that. It's just a different way of playing shit I'm already gonna play. That's
right,
just a matter
exactly.
of wanting to fucking like. And I'm just using like RE8 as an example. I don't even know if it has VR support, but I know 7 did. But it would be like, oh, RE8 comes out, and every time I want to play it, I have to go fucking plug my fucking VR headset in, put that fucking thing on my face, and fucking control it with some dumb bullshit. Actually, RE8 would probably still be mouse and keyboard just with the thing on your fucking head. But I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. Is all I'm saying because I'm ancient. That's all I'm saying. Maybe for Half-Life Alyx. Like I want to play Half-Life Alyx. Honestly, that's like the one thing I would like to play. I just don't want to get a fucking VR headset.
VR is the future, though.
I really hope it's not.
Yeah, you know it. It's fucking gonna be Sword Art Online. We're gonna fucking go fucking get our brains stuck in the computer.
Oh,
Oh,
dude, I'll be down with that. Elon Musk can just fucking put all of the chips in me.
oh yeah,
I
that's
know
different.
you're like lobotomize me, Elon.
Lobotomize me, Captain.
I don't know about that. I don't think he said that. Yeah, let something go wrong with the surgery, Elon. Lobotomize me.
Daddy.
That's
Fuck
fine.
yeah.
The flesh is weak. If the
It'll be,
end
yeah,
result,
weak
like,
enough to be
no,
lobotomized.
I'll be honest. I'll go on this insane tangent right here. If
Yes.
if you were able to like be full immersed VR, like browse the web like Futurama and all that other crazy shit, and like the cost was like you're paralyzed in real life, sure, I don't care.
All right.
No, thank you.
I don't know about that.
Hook
You
me
can have
hook me up to the beds and insert the catheter, fuckers. I'm done.
I
I'll see you on the net, boys.
maybe this is a little demonetizing right here to say, but I like my dick too much. I like sex too much.
I'm gonna be having brain sex on the internet.
You know what, brain? You know what? Enjoy your brain sex, man. You do you.
I was pulled
will.
from the podcast briefly, but I heard you talking about brain sex on the internet.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is a little too personal, but I like sex a little too much to do that.
And I was like, brain sex on the internet. I'm gonna be having it too.
Anthony just wants
It'll
to
be
Star Trek
fucking
holodeck
weird. Yeah.
times.
You'll have your anime cat girls.
Oh god.
That's true. Oh my god, that's it. That's why he wants it so bad. He wants Elon to fuck.
Your muscular anime cat girls.
They don't have to be muscular. I wouldn't mind it though.
Wait, was that part of it? I don't remember that being a thing.
Well,
Is that part?
Felicia's pretty ripped, and she is my
Yeah,
waifu.
okay, yeah. I didn't know that was like a integral part of the fetish, though.
It's not integral. It isn't. I'll take it. If it's on the table, I'll be like, alright.
He's just
Okay.
like, shut up, Rob. You're releasing my secrets.
No,
I
no.
don't think.
Dude, I'm already
about it.
admitting to like just open cat girl full VR paralyzation is like the dream. So like, so that's I don't think there's a point I would stop at that where it's like, yeah, I'll admit to all that, but I won't let them know I like glasses. You know, like.
Nope, that's your line right there.
It's too long. It's too long to be my line.
I like them ripped, but only in the calves. Everything else,
I need them to crush my head like sparrow.
everything else is normal, even flabby, but the calves
The
must
calves
be ripped.
better. Oh my god.
Crush my head like sparrow's egg.
They must flex those calves.
I want they if they can't jump higher than 6 feet, get out.
Don't cross the line to furry.
Ladies,
you know?
leave your resume.
Well, I can't with Richard around.
No, you can't. That's what. But well, I mean, you could.
And also I wouldn't anyway. I can't.
Not capable of putting you on an island yet.
Well, yeah.
Maybe someday, but not yet.
But again, even if he was, like I'll be up front. Snouts don't do it for me, turns out.
Yeah, you've experimented with this. You know this.
I've experimented with many things you are unaware of, my friend. I've dabbled. I believe that you cannot say no to something without having tried it first.
Ooh,
Oh God.
that mindset.
So you smoked crack yet? Or
I can't blindly hate. No.
Opinion on methamphetamine.
I mean, if
Haven't
it works
hate
for you.
I'm not a proprietor of the meth, but
Yeah.
I don't hate those of the meth.
But as you know, I also don't have an opinion on meth.
That's
and
true.
And that is why I have not.
Because you haven't smoked it yet.
Yeah, exactly. It would be
Yeah.
rude of me to pass judgment on something that I have not partaken.
Yeah. Have you listened to enough Nightcore in your life?
Yes.
Opinion on it.
And the opinion is it's fucking garbage, and anyone who likes it is a piece of shit.
Good. Good opinion.
I saw one funny thing involving Nightcore is that it's like listen to twice the music in the same amount of time, and it's like, haha, that's funny. And that's
Or
it.
ska. Nightcore reggae.
Anyway, trying to save this conversation, Black Panther can't save the Avengers.
No, it can't.
I'm mixing two stories here. This is the big announcement. Black Panther Wakanda, War for Wakanda, coming to the Avengers, and the game community responded with a, eh, we hate this game. We don't
Yeah.
care.
No Wakanda forever.
Let's see what's coming with this, because I believe they have the roadmap in this article. You're gonna get Black Panther, new outfits for your heroes, a power level cap increase so you can grind even more in the game that you already probably don't like that much. Um, more robot enemies and some bullshit new story. I don't think they understand.
The problem with the game.
Yeah, but that's fine. This strikes me as like this was probably content they were already working on anyway. So like fuck it. Put it out and hope that like anyone out there is willing to give them money when this new content drops for anything. Make whatever they can, on a game that's failing and faltering. Kind of like I got to think about how to word this. I don't want to use the word scummy because it doesn't feel entirely fair, but like it's kind of fucked up, isn't it? That it's like Black Panther that they're like using to try and revitalize the game. What with like the very recent passing of the prominent
I
actor.
don't know. Who
I mean, I
else?
don't think that's fair because it's like the character was a thing before the actor.
It was, but you have to think like a suit at like Square, and in some boardroom somewhere they were like, well, Black Panther's kind of hot right now because everyone's mourning Chadwick. So like maybe if we put him in the game, people will get kind of hype about that. You'll get your fucking somber money for that
Well,
shit.
I mean, but even without it, like if you're gonna pick who like that got the most attention of any of the recent Marvel independent launches, like what's that new one that's coming out that no one gives a shit about, like Iron Fist or whatever his fucking face. Like if they announced him, like no one would care.
Shang-Chi and the 27 rings or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
even know
no
what
one
the
no
movie's
one's gonna
about.
give a half of a quarter shit for that.
It's just like we know that it's like Spider-Man's coming at some point because they said that he's like PlayStation exclusive to the game, but I don't even think he came out yet in this game. So like we don't even have that, but they're like, here's a content update with Black Panther. It just feels like I know somewhere, like you can't deny that in some fucking boardroom or on some conference call somewhere, some investor or high level fuck at Square was like, but Chadwick though. Well, like it went through one person's head at least
They're like,
once.
but the black guy,
Like,
the Black Panther.
like statistically speaking, someone thought about it like that. They were
Mm.
like, "Oh well, someone will give us money because like the morning of the death of the actor who recently played the part. Like someone thought about it. It just feels it feels like a little scummy, even though I'm fairly certain that they were probably working on these assets long before that happened. But
Yeah,
still, I don't know. The point is, I think the real moral of the story here is that it's not gonna save the fucking game.
sure ain't. I don't think there's
No.
anything they can do to save that game because even if they get like a good launch or like good content, like it's already been so months since the poor launch, like that's all that's like in people's heads.
Yeah.
No, people already have a bad image of the game. It's
Right.
nothing can save it.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
literally it's the Anthem situation all over again. Like someone at Square and holy fuck, is it Crystal Dynamics
sure.
that's making this, or is it Eidos? Holy shit, I don't remember. One of the two. Some people at both of those companies are saying them are looking at the numbers and being like, what do we stand to gain by like constantly supporting this for the foreseeable future? I wonder how long this game will continue to get content. Do we see like a significant overhaul or like a massive content update that they hope brings people back, or do they just drop it like two hot rocks? And if so, how much longer before they do that?
I still think overall this game should be like a case study of like how where did we fuck this up so badly? You know, cuz it's like
Yeah.
it was like Marvel hysteria. I remember even from the initial trailer launch, like it was like Marvel hysteria time, and they released this trailer and like no one gave a shit, and it's like, how did you manage that? Like
No.
it seems like such a print money slam dunk, and for whatever reason, nope.
That was clearly. I think that's exactly the thing, though, is that that's this game was marketed entirely on Marvel hype, and there was nothing of substance. You know what I mean? I think they thought this was a shoo-in for like giga sales and
Hmm.
success just because of the hype surrounding the MCU, you know? And it turns out you have to have a decent game there at the same time. It's really interesting because like you look at this game and you're like, and then like you hold it side by side with like games that came out ages ago, like Ultimate Alliance or Ultimate
God,
Alliance
those games were
2,
good.
and you're like,
What happened?
yeah, you're like, what happened? Because someone at this company or at either company between the developer and the publisher had to look at what they were making and be like, and look at games that came before it and realize that what they were making was not as good. You know what I mean? Like when you have these games out there that have existed for ages, like Ultimate Alliance, where you have this massive roster of Marvel characters, games that were wildly successful, and then you try to make this like kind of watered down beat 'em up that doesn't even have as much content as those games of old. It's like, but it looks prettier, and you were just trying to like shove in all the popular MCU characters and hoping that it would sell just off that. Like that's clearly where this game went wrong.
Yeah.
You know, more of an Ultimate Alliance, less of a fucking watered down. We'll make this look nice and hope you'll buy it because it's got all the movies characters in it.
Hey, look, it's Thor. Look, guys, Iron Man.
It's Thor, and he like kinda looks like Chris Hemsworth, but not really because we can't use his likeness. But like he kinda looks like him though,
Come on, guys, buy the game. Buy the
just a little
game.
bit. Please buy the game.
Well,
Though
not
I do
even
have to,
please. It's like buy the fucking game.
I have to remind myself that games like Ultimate Alliance and like Marvel vs. Capcom, like 2 and 3 and shit, kind of came out
In a
in like
different time.
yeah, in a pre-Disney age,
Yeah.
right? Where like Disney wasn't lording over these game devs being like put these characters in there, which is literally why games like MVCI have the rosters that they have because they were clearly trying to pimp MCU characters. I have to remind myself that those good Marvel games of old did not exist in that time period,
Let
which is
alone
why they were able.
I'm sure the margins are all fucked up now too, because it's like licensing went from big number to unfathomably large number.
But you know what? Even that's not fair. You know what? I take that back. That's not fair to say because Ultimate Alliance 3 came out not that long ago.
Hmm.
And it has like a roster, from what I've seen of it, that you would expect from like an older Marvel game, like Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, or like the old MVC games and shit. So it's like somewhere out there, someone at Disney is down to let a game dev make a
Or
roster like that. Yeah, with like licensed characters that they don't use in movies. I mean, now they can because of the Fox deal, but like at the time, I don't think the Fox deal had gone through yet when Ultimate Alliance 3 came out, and I'm pretty sure that game has like Psylocke and Magneto in it and shit like that. So I don't know. It's like I don't understand. I don't get it. You have games like MVCI and this coming out where they're clearly just trying to push a fucking agenda on you, which is like, please buy this off of MCU hype, you know? Clearly doesn't work.
Yep.
nope, nope, nope.
Speaking of clearly not working, Sony.
Oh God, no.
So there are two stories here, and they both involve Sony. So let's start with the one that personally
One is not
pisses
as
me
bad.
off.
Oh, you want to talk about? Let's talk about Evo though. It's not as bad.
Okay, okay, let's talk about it. Sony bought
Eased it in.
Evo. They bought it. They own it now.
Madman.
What does that mean?
There's been a lot. I've been watching a lot of videos of people talking about this in the last week since this news came out. Like Max giving his hot takes and like Wooly talking about it and shit. And I feel like the initial doom and gloom assumption that most people had was, uh-oh, Evo's dead, and all we're gonna get now is like Sony products showcased at Evo, and it's not gonna be like Evo's past. But then very quickly on like day one, when this news broke, someone from Evo, I thought it might have been one of the two. I'm sorry, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but one of the two netcode fucking brothers that still operates Evo, I think, came out and said that that's not going to be the case, that Evo is still going to be as you remember it, and they'll have tournaments just like they used to from any dev, Sony affiliated or otherwise. So
I think the most interesting takes have been around it was Smash,
yes, that's the one everyone's been talking about.
because it's like
Snatch.
Smash is
Snatch.
squarely shut up is squarely Nintendo, and even Nintendo, Smash also has a lot of negative press around it.
Yeah, I don't think people have been talking about that too, and it's like I don't think that the diddling in the Smash community is going to keep it from you though, because there's still a
Really?
community of people who don't do that. You know what I mean? Like there's still a passionate community of people. You can't let the bad actors in the fucking professional Smash community ruin it for everyone else who are legitimate competitors. I think the biggest thing that will keep Smash from Evo is Nintendo
That's fair.
themselves, because we have a long established history of Nintendo kind of being trash, and I just don't see them being okay with putting Smash in a tournament owned and operated by a major competitor.
Also, is this just like a continuation of a long line of just uh, Sony and Nintendo dunking on each other? Like, did Evo really have nothing to do with it, and Sony was like, piss them off? Uh,
Listen,
Take that, not using our CD format, you bastards.
I use the word competitor, but I also have to remind myself that I don't think Nintendo considers anyone competition because they kind of have their own niche fan base thing
Yeah.
going on. I think they just we have once again we have a long storied history of Nintendo killing the competitive scene for Smash on their own
Right,
for
yeah.
much dumber reasons than this. So I could see them pulling Smash from this. Maybe as like a mashup of reasons, both like the issues in the competitive scene that we all know about, plus Sony owning and operating this, plus I don't think we'll know how this affects Smash at Evo for the foreseeable future, because I don't think was Smash even didn't they put the lineup for 2021 out and it's still like an online tournament? I think they put the lineup out and I don't think Smash is in it because it's online.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's like Nintendo related or anything. I think that's just because Smash has trash netcode, so it wasn't going to be there in 2020 before it got canceled anyway. And I don't think it's confirmed for 2021, but I'm kind of talking out of my ass because I don't have the lineup in front of me.
It'd be great if like Sony allows it with using Slippy. Like they
Yeah,
just greenlight the whole thing.
absolute like blackmail. Like, all right, Fox, we'll put you in Evo, but you have to use this.
Just throw all the salt in fucking Nintendo's way.
Trying to find
Oh.
the Okay, so these are the only things confirmed for Evo 2021 currently.
Mm.
Is Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat 11, and Guilty Gear Strive. That's it.
No surprises there.
Yes.
No Soul Calibur, huh?
No, actually, no Soul Calibur, but Soul Calibur is not getting supported in quite the same way that
Yeah.
so
You could have stopped that sentence. You could have just said Soul Calibur's not getting supported,
yeah,
and that would also be accurate.
you're not wrong. I mean, it got support, but it's not getting.
Yeah, it's not
That.
continuing to.
Tekken's the generally more popular game in the competitive environment than Soul Calibur, so I mean, it makes sense. And Tekken's, I, I find
You know,
Tekken's inclusion with Smash's lack of inclusion so strange because Tekken's netcode also sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of odd.
I used to love Soul Calibur, and then I played one of the. I want to say it was newer at the time. I forget which one it was. It was when
5.
maybe it was five. It was when freaking Siegfried no longer had Soul Calibur. It was on this little kid, Soul Calibur,
5.
Oh yeah, 5.
and I was just like, this game sucks.
A lot of
Like
people turned on 5.
5 is universally kind of hated.
I was like, and I just couldn't play Soul Calibur anymore. Like I
5
was
is
never good at Soul Calibur. I was
yeah.
never good at the game, but I just loved the characters, the universe, everything, and I played through five. Like I usually used to play through with all the characters and just have fun dicking around. But
Yeah.
there was the story mode, and I played through, and I was like, I beat it in like less than like 3 hours. And I was like,
Oh God, that's right. And didn't it have like a really dog shit story mode too, where it
yeah,
was
Sure
the
did.
yeah,
cinematics weren't even the
yeah,
cinematic?
yep.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is awful. I hate this. I
yeah.
went back to the game store I bought it from, and I was like, give me my money back.
Damn.
Soul Calibur
Yeah.
5 is not fondly remembered. Um,
It was one of the few times I returned a game.
It's kind of funny
yeah,
because that was like the era when like fighting games like collectively went like, "Oh, we should focus on stories again." And all of them got like really good stories. Like Tekken 7's story is still like the most insane turnaround for a character I've ever seen in my life. Um, like Mortal Kombat's changes and all that stuff. I think that was like around 9, and just and boy, did they just fucked it up like
Yeah.
real bad.
they redeemed it with 6 though.
Yes.
6 is very good. So I would actually highly recommend 6 if you still have interest in Soul Calibur, Rob. But
I don't know. Like it really did ruin the entire like series for me.
6 is
Oh, it
fantastic.
shouldn't.
6 is
6 is good.
legitimately 6 is legitimately the best Soul Calibur that's come out in ages. Like
Really.
mechanically, yes, mechanically, it's awesome. The single player content's pretty solid for a fighting game.
Okay.
It's a good game. It's fun to play. It's got a
I'll,
solid roster.
I'll have to look. I'll have to look for it.
It's a
A
very
lot
good
of
game.
unfortunate amount of DLC in my opinion.
All right.
I mean, the base roster is still very good.
Yeah.
I expect that from most games nowadays, though.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's the fighting game way. A nowadays, it's how they make most of their money post release. And B, I think the base roster is good. It's got everyone you would want
and
to be.
to be
Yes, and that
in the character creator. What?
large asses, large slappable asses. Soul
What I
Calibur
come to
6.
expect from Soul Calibur.
Oh yes, now the biggest ass of them all is in Soul Calibur. I had like a lot of I kind of like hate that I didn't play Soul Calibur 6 as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just like didn't. I don't know. Like I was gonna go hard on it and like play it online, and then I just kind of didn't. Like I was really excited when 2B came out, and I labbed her a lot, and I was like, yeah, this character's really awesome. I'm gonna play online, and then I just never did. I think I played like 2 online matches, and then I just kind of stopped playing the game. So Calibur 6 is good though. Anyway, Sony bought Evo, so I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. Like, if Smash isn't going to be there in 2021, but not as a result of this, just because its netcode sucks. So,
Now back to the part where Sony sucks a fat one.
oh yeah, this is
Um,
a bad one. This is a really bad one.
yeah. So not only did they remove movies and TV shows, but PlayStation P, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation 3 sections of the PlayStation Store, they're disappearing. Goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Hope you didn't like any old games.
I believe
Especially for two handles, which are like handhelds, which are like unobtainium right now. Good luck.
this is pretty recent news, but I believe at the time when it broke, it was still rumor, but it was rumor from very established journalists that were reporting on it,
Mhm.
who probably would not be reporting on this if it weren't true. At least that's how I understand it. I didn't read the articles myself, but a lot of people have been talking about it and pretty much assuming that this is going to happen. And it fucking sucks, dude. That's a lot of games on those platforms that you're just not going to be able to get anymore. Like digital only games
Yeah.
that you just can't, that are literally just going to die. That sucks. I think about like, I think I was watching Maximilian's stream last night, and he brought up a good point, which is like digital only releases of like fighting games and shit that are just gonna die the second those stores go down. Like,
Well, again, like for me, it's mostly like things like the PSP too. Like UMDs, who the fuck kept any of those? Who the fuck still has a working PSP to play them? So you would just do it digitally, like via the store's like emulation and stuff. And now it's gonna be gone. Like there were some PSP and Vita exclusives. You want to play Soul Sacrifice, which is probably one of the coolest takes on like Monster Hunter that there's ever been. Uh, Now your only choice is to sail the high seas.
yes,
Get a good emulator and take to the seas.
I sees. As I was watching, as I mentioned during my week, I've been doing productive things on my old PC the last week. So I've been around on like Mondays, and like as I'm working on stuff, I'll see like Castle Super Beast has started streaming. So like sometimes I just turn them on in the background and listen to them. And
Hmm.
as they said, as I heard them say, I think Wooly had asked Pat, like, is the PlayStation 3 C-worthy? Which, to which the response was, no, not really,
Yeah.
actually. So this is kind of a big fucking problem
Yeah,
for anything.
a lot of places like that too have like kicked into high gear where it's like, "Oh fuck, we got to figure this shit out now." Cuz it's about to be gone.
It's really shitty, but there's nothing that can be done about it other than to bitch and complain about it enough that maybe Sony doesn't do it, but we all know that's not gonna fucking happen because if there's any company in the world other than like Nintendo that's probably not gonna listen to you bitch and whine about something, it's probably Sony. So this is gonna happen. So start figuring out how to sail those fucking seas. If you want to play
Or
any of that
wait
shit.
10 years for the PlayStation 5 remasters of those very games.
Yeah, you had brought that up. It's like a big brain tinfoil hat theory that like, oh dude, they kill the stores and then they just sell remasters of the shit that you can't buy anymore because they died on those stores. And I
It's
mean,
it's like the Warcraft Reforged, but forever.
yeah,
Just think of all the well we were just talking about Warhawk. They just dipped their toe right back in.
people brought up that there's like, and I haven't owned a Sony console, so you would know this better than me. I haven't owned a Sony console since like the fucking PS2, but I
Mm.
had seen people saying in a Twitch chat that there's like old games that were on like I don't know if it was the PS3 or if it was one of the handhelds, but like on the digital stores you could get shit like Ape Escape and stuff like that.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
I
God,
believe
I remember that game.
I don't know if that's true, but I think I'd seen someone say something like that. So if that's true, then like yeah, that shit's just gone. Because I'm sure there's no physical fucking edition of anything like that. That was probably digital only.
Another IP that Sony just forgot about.
Absolutely. That game was awesome.
It was a lot of
Uh,
fun.
yeah.
They were apes and they escaped. Do you need any more exposition? Because if
You
so,
got
this
to
is not
ride
the
on the
game
back of
for
a
you.
T-Rex.
Fucking Ape Escape.
They were led by the white ape with anime hair.
Holy shit.
That's true. The Great White Ape.
I actually think I know someone who has a physical copy of Ape Escape.
I
I
thought
have
you were
a
going to
fucking
say
physical
that
copy of Ape
haircut.
Escape, bro. I have a physical copy of Ape Escape right now. I go walk into the other room and grab my fucking physical copy of Ape Escape right now.
You have to
As we
you have to hand that to the men of the high seas.
I do.
It's like rip
Or
the
become a
ISO
man.
right out of it.
Or become a
Uh,
man of the high seas.
I'm sure that already exists. If
Yeah,
any of
that's true.
it is emulatable, I'm sure it already exists somewhere out there. The problem is
Yeah, honestly, the biggest problem when it comes to this stuff, I think, would like
PS3 stuff. It's like all
PS3 and PSP. PSP because it's a really weird media that you're ripping the ISOs out of, and PS3 because everything was made for the cell architecture, which was a nightmarish bitch to
yes.
program for, and so it doesn't translate to other CPUs very well because it had a weird goddamn architecture.
PS3 is like infamously terrible to develop games for, and as a result, there's like, from my understanding, no good options for emulating PS3 stuff. At least nothing that runs particularly well. So like, good luck with that shit. Like the second that goes down, what the fuck are you gonna do, man? Just deal with poorly run emulated versions of digital only PS3 games? Like,
It's either that or it doesn't exist, I guess.
yeah, or it's just not a thing at all. Like, it sucks, man. I don't really understand why they're even doing it. I can't comprehend a reason, to be frank. It feels like a poorly thought out decision, where like some guy at Sony was like, "Oh, we could just like these are old platforms. No one's playing this shit anymore. Get rid of it," without actually understanding that like maybe some of the stuff on those digital stores can't actually be obtained in any other way, shape, and form, and maybe people would want to play those at some point in the future. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
just
you know
not
what?
comprehending that at all.
Or this is like Gigabrain version, where it's like, we need to boost our sales on the classic stores, particularly PSP,
Oh
Vita,
wow.
and PS3. Leak a story that they're going away.
Oh no, no, no. It's not even real.
Yeah, it's not even real.
Pretending to do
Or
it.
even better, they get to double dip and go like, "We heard you guys, and we're not gonna go through with it
Oh
for the
no.
players. I mean,
Yep.
the players.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. If a week from now a story like that breaks where they're like, you know what, guys, you're right. For you, we're not gonna do it. I'm instantly gonna think about this conversation. I'm gonna be like, it's fake. They knew that they weren't gonna do it.
that's all.
I'm
Like
gonna put my
it's
tinfoil
gotta
hat
be.
on and I'm gonna be like, they're just fucking trying to get good PR. The tinfoil hat's going on.
Sales and PR in a brutal combo that they could just repeat.
God, that's a big brain fucking play, dude.
Are they big brain enough to do that play? Is the
Never
question.
mind. I've 180 on it completely. You're geniuses, Sony. You've never done anything more intelligent in the entire
And also
existence of your company.
scummy. Oh man.
But if it's true, that shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. If either case is true, it's shitty and bad and wrong. How else will I play Armored Core Formula Front?
How else will I play Warhawk online when the PS3 store is down? I'll have to
Legit
go
though,
find
the
a
only
physical
thing
copy.
I do want to get my hands back on Soul Sacrifice because holy fuck. Especially now, I gotta see if I can locate it on
Soul
the
Sacrifice, the
high
weird
seas.
puzzle game with the giant tits.
No.
You sure?
What game are you talking about?
Soul Sacrifice
Are you sure?
is yeah, it's Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay.
It was for the Vita. What were you thinking about?
No, but it's not Monster Hunter, literally, right? It's like
It's to Monster Hunter what God Eater is, where it's like it's the same type of thing where you're fighting a monster get mats to upgrade yourself, but all the monsters are based on grim fairy tales, and you're fighting them with like a demon arm, like Nero.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
But conceptually, very different,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. When I
Okay.
when I say that, it's I refer to the gameplay loop, not the gameplay itself, but the loop.
There was some game, I think it might have been a PSP game I'm thinking of. I remember the best friends played it like fucking ages ago, and I remember when they played it, I was like, "Oh my God, I've played this like way back in the day on like a PlayStation demo disc, where it was like you would go into stages and it would kind of be like a very flat plane, and then there would be like enemies that came at you, and you had to like kill them by placing traps on like a tiled grid."
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there
I
was a
played that
newer.
demo disc, yeah, and the new, yeah, oh my god, the new ones, they went all in
Yes.
on the fan service. Holy
Oh
shit!
yeah, they did. There was a lot of anime tit. That's what I remember from when the best friends played it, which is why. And I thought it had a name like that, but it might not have.
I'm pretty sure it's just.
'Cause that was
I think the
yeah,
one that we played on the demo disc was actually called Trap, and then
seriously, it's
I'm pretty
just called
sure. I think it was the third one too, which was the first one that we played. It was like Trap 3.
And I'm pretty sure the game they played briefly was not
Yep, I
called
nailed it. It's called Trapped.
Trapped, like the
Yes,
band.
by Temco. Yeah, like the band. Um, and but the series is called Deception.
There you go. Yeah, I remember that.
Trapped was the one where maybe they toned it down, or maybe that was like the very first of like let's get fucking weird and anime with this shit.
Yeah,
And I know in the latest version it's just like holy tits. It's nuts. And even all the traps are like weirdly sexual too, like fucking riding horse and shit. It's not
yeah.
like in that one you're hitting people with like tasers and stone columns and throwing bombs at them in Indiana Jones boulders, and the other one it's just like, oh, they get tickled if they go in this one.
I remember it was
It's
one of those
really
games. It
creepy.
was one of those games that like I had played as a kid on like a PlayStation demo disc, but like it like sticks with you because you remember what it looks like and you remember how it played, but you don't remember what it was called, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
And then it's not like years later when the best friends did a video on like a newer game in the series and they played I turned the video on and I'm like, holy fuck, this is that fucking game I played as a child. And you have that revelation.
Yeah. There were so many
Way more
games that like I put like more hours in than some games I owned, and it was just playing the demo disc over and over and over again. And I never ended up like owning them for whatever reason.
I remember was it called Little Buddies or something like that? It was the
Team
game with the
Buddies.
buddies. There you go. Yeah, where you
Yeah.
like made stuff out of like boxes, and then you could like, and it was like how you got your weapons for your little
And
guys,
even more
or you
teammates. Yeah, that was
yeah,
a fucking great game.
vehicles and shit, but not really in the demo. I remember seeing the stills when the demo ended, and it was like, look, there's planes and shit. And I was like, wow, I want to get this, and then I never got it.
That game got unfortunately like super cursed too, because I know a lot of people who played that demo and like loved it, but apparently it was actually like an English game, and like very few copies were made. So even if you want it now, you could get it only on like eBay for like thousands of dollars.
Wow, really?
because
God.
because
Team
yeah,
Buddies on Amazon, $539
yeah,
and 99 cents used.
yeah.
Holy
Because like for whatever reason that game physically made very few discs. Like,
bruh.
and so it's like a big, but everyone played the demo and
I have
everyone loved
Biden
it.
bucks. Buy a copy of Team Buddies.
That would be an okay use of Biden bucks.
Stimulate the economy by buying this copy of Team Buddies from some guy on eBay.
Oh, where's the guy live? Does he live in America?
I didn't look. I'm sorry. I looked at it briefly and then I closed the tab.
Because if so, then that is stimulation, my friend. If not, then
If
it's
not, I'll
it's
do it anyway.
it's stimulating another GDP, and
Like Brazil or whatever.
from what I understand, is the rest of the world is evil, so we shouldn't do that.
That's what I've taught. Here in America, everyone else is evil.
You know, it's another game that's like that. Soul of the Samurai.
Never looked to any other country for inspiration in any
I
way, shape, or
played
form.
I played Soul of the Samurai so many times because it was a really solid like samurai brawler type game.
Oh, is that the game with Is that the game with the weird like dick monsters that flew out of people's mouths
Yeah,
and
and
shit?
right, and yeah, that's the thing that always stuck with me is it's like just totally normal samurai shit, and then you get to the end of the demo and like the last guy you killed just like vomits up a goo alien, and I was always like,
That as well.
what
That's another one of those demo discs
the
that
fuck?
absolutely stuck with me as well. I think I borrowed that demo disc from you and I played that like multiple times, and then that's like all like it similarly burned into my memory of the guy puking up weird leech monsters. We're on a fucking tangent here,
We
bro.
sure are.
We go back to the news.
It's funny too because these aren't like PS3 games that are potentially going to be lost. We're describing PlayStation 1 games, which, as far as I'm aware, that store is not disappearing. Anyway, news continues. Payday 3 in the works.
Yay.
Yeah, Payday 3, we've actually known Payday 3 has been being developed for quite some time. There was news a long time ago about how they were switching to Unreal Engine instead of whatever jank fucking engine they used for Payday 1 and 2. Um, what was the news story for this again? Isn't it something publisher related or some shit?
Yeah, they secured funding, and it's like for sure a real thing.
Right. Well, okay, yeah, because the whole thing with Payday 3, it's sort of been on the fence, I guess. Like, we knew they wanted to do it, but because of the criminal debacle with
The
Starbreeze,
multiple criminal debacles that was
yeah,
Starbreeze.
they had a funding issue, which I believe they were trying to remedy by supporting Payday 2 again with some DLC, which I believe people have been purchasing in droves. Like, I'm pretty sure it's been doing well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I guess this like super secures that it's definitely happening. I'm excited about it. I fucking love Payday.
Yeah, Payday was fun.
Payday 2 is an incredible video game. I actually like it a lot. Payday 2 is one of those games that like it's like grindy in air quotes, but it's fun. It's like it's a grind I don't mind because
I
I enjoy the gameplay loop.
I kind of like it kind of sucks how like uneven kind of the builds are, I would say. Like you gotta do certain things. You got and some DLC like characters and their card decks were just so vastly superior.
Yeah,
And
there
like
was some
that all
balance.
yeah, that sucked. But the gameplay was awesome, and I can't wait to buy this game, enjoy it, and then like just get all the DLC dumped on me like it's a fucking
Oh yeah, it's
Paradox
gonna
game.
100%. That's the one issue with Payday 2 is that it's got Paradox game levels of fucking DLC.
Yep.
Um, not not absurdly priced though, if I'm being honest. It's not there's like a shitload of it that you get assaulted with when you go to the store page, but it's all like $2 or
Hmm.
like $3 a piece. So it's not that bad and you can just kind of pick and choose what you want. Plus, it does the really cool thing which I'm assuming Game 3 will do unless they decide to become scummy, where if you own a DLC that provides a new heist, your friends don't need to have it as long as you host it and they can play it as if they owned it. So like it's not the most egregiously disgusting DLC system monetization scheme that's ever existed in a fucking game,
Yeah.
but there is a lot, and I'm sure that will continue with the third game because why wouldn't they do it? People buy it. Fucking Payday's so good, dude. I would fucking play Payday 2 even now, to be honest. The game is a lot of fun.
Well, don't because the third one's coming
And
in
it's probably I
in
highly
two
doubt that game's
years.
coming out anytime soon.
They're slated for 2023.
Yeah, so not anytime soon.
Um, no, I can't segue this. There's some silliness with Near Automata. So, Nier Automata, I think this story is kind of funny. It has some bugs. It's not the most perfect port, the PC version in the
Oh, the PC
world.
port's fucked up
Yeah,
on Steam. It's real bad. You don't gotta
and
sugarcoat it. It's horrible.
so Xbox did a big, what was it, Game Pass for it? How did they get it again? I don't remember.
I believe it's offered through Game Pass, so if you have
Yeah.
Game Pass, you get it for air quotes free.
So
And
here's the thing. That port was pretty bad. So Microsoft hired some dudes to make it not bad. And so the version that comes on Game Pass basically has a third-party patch that makes it good. More graphical options, fixing a lot of bugs, all this type of stuff. And it's not coming to Steam. It just ain't.
I don't understand this.
So, I mean, a lot of it's like, what can you do? Because it's not like it's a patch that was put out by like the developers.
Platinum.
Yeah, so it's not like it's missing an official patch. It's this weird third-party thing that Microsoft funded for some fucking reason. And if you own it on Steam, bad news, you should have bought it on the Microsoft store because now
I
there's a superior version.
I can assure you that I know exactly why Microsoft had this happen. They had it happen because they were like, wow, if there's anything we've done in recent history that's gotten good press, it's Game Pass. Like
Hmm.
people love Game Pass. It's like it's relatively cheap for shitloads of for access to a fuckload of games. People love it. How could we fuck that goodwill up? What if we added Nier Automata, but the port was absolute dog shit and like 90% of people couldn't play it? So instead of doing that, they were like, let's just fix it. Like it makes sense from a business point of view. It's horrendous for anyone like me who owns it on Steam because I'll never get that patch.
Boys,
Most
I have
likely.
breaking news.
Breaking news.
I have the I have the best spouse in the world. She brought me pasta.
Nice.
Pasta spouse confirmed.
We were gonna be like breaking news. The patch is coming to the Steam version, but no, it was just that he has pasta.
Mm.
So it fucking sucks. I wish this patch was coming to Steam. I still have to go back, which I'm probably not going to do anytime soon because there's a plethora of fucking games coming out in the near future. But I have to go back and finish Nier. And I know that when I do that, I have to install that fucking third-party patch, which I already kind of did on my old PC when I was playing it, because that port fucking blows. And I would love it if Square or Platinum would just fix the fucking Steam version, as has been done for the fucking Game Pass version of the game. I don't understand why they wouldn't take it and apply it to the Steam version, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do we have confirmation of how this patch happened? Like, is it actually that Microsoft funded it, or did Square or Platinum do it
I
for?
read it. I read it as Microsoft.
Wow, that
Okay,
sucks.
so I didn't see that in the
Microsoft
article.
really being a dick.
I mean, I guess a nice dick. I mean, it also makes sense for them to not release it to a competitor platform because I mean, and makes sense is a very roundabout.
Roundabout way.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we
I don't.
can we nuke all storefronts again? Could there just be like the digital store on the internet?
It's not
Can
how.
can can everyone shake their hands and just let GOG take over it because they don't do DRM at all, and I like them for that.
No,
Yeah, I know. I
can't do that. We cannot do that.
know. You know what? I'm very glad because when I initially heard that like EA and Ubisoft and everyone was like releasing their own launchers, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have all these launchers. But that was also around the same time they stopped making good games, so I'm still fine for now.
For now.
That's not true. You just refuse to play Titanfall 2, even though it's fucking amazing and you own it. just because you don't want to fucking install Origin, which is something that I can't wrap my fucking head around. 'Cause
Oh,
that game's awesome.
I don't have an Origin account anymore because it
Well, who
kept getting
cares?
hacked.
It doesn't matter. You can make another one. And it'll be fresh, and
I-
you'll get to play Titanfall 2, one of the best first-person shooters made in the last 10 fucking
I
years.
bought it. I own it,
I know you did.
and I won't install it.
Yeah, well, if you did, I would play it with you, but you refused to fucking install it, which is
They'll
unfortunate. 'Cause that means
eventually
you can play a lot.
they'll patch it out.
They really won't.
It's
Just
coming.
fucking install it.
They're gonna patch it out. It's okay.
Install it. I will play Titanfall 2. I would play Titanfall 2 right now. I don't have anyone to fucking play Titanfall 2 with. I would play it.
Right now, right in the middle
I
of
would
the
play it right fucking now. I would ditch the podcast and play Titanfall 2 right now if he fucking installed it and
Well,
just
it's a
manned
good
up
thing I
and said,
don't
"Oh,
have it installed, or
I'll-
or
Let's,
an
I'll
let's
deal
Origin
with
play
account.
Risk of Rain 2 right now, boys.
I'll stop being a babby and I'll deal with Origin, and then he'll play Titanfall 2 and we'll have a good time." But he refuses to have fun.
I don't refuse to have fun. I refuse to deal with fucking Origin.
It's not that hard. You make a way bigger deal of it, as do most people,
No,
than
I mean,
actually
granted,
about it.
it's not the biggest detriment in the world, but it's also not the I could live without it as well.
Literally just you click play on Steam and then it asks you to sign in and you sign in and then the game runs and that's it. That's all it is.
Speaking of all it is, the gameplay designer of Cyberpunk
You can't get off of
quits.
this. I see what you're trying to do. You're gonna
Too
you
late.
play fucking
I
Titanfall 2,
already
you
did.
son of a bitch. You spent money on it. It's a good game.
Speaking of Cyberpunk.
Dude, he's doing people. He's trying to get away from playing Titanfall 2.
Put in the.
I'm not trying to get away from. I want to rush into Titanfall 2's big burly arms and feel safe and secure, and that good FPS is here to last. But people keep buying fucking Call of Duty and Fortnite, so I live in this cold war, and like I look to the side of my bed and I want the warmth and protection of Titanfall 2, maybe even 3 beside me at night, but I just have to lay awake crying and alone in this
This is,
cold war world that I just
Just-
live in.
This is wildly off topic, but apparently they put out a new Mortal Kombat trailer 2 hours ago.
Oh, neat. Breaking news.
I just watched it while you were talking about wanting to be caressed
by
by the
Titanfall.
loving, by Titanfall, and it's not anything new, to be honest. So fuck it.
Okay. Unbreaking news. Speaking of
Anyway.
unbreaking news, the gameplay designer of Cyberpunk quits. I said that before, but now I said it again
Yeah.
because it's for real.
It's true. I
So
don't know.
why did he quit? Was he made the fall guy for? I mean, he was the lead gameplay designer, or was it perhaps like he looked at the giant stack of fix this and just was like, you know what? I quit respectfully.
I would assume a lead gameplay designer doesn't have anything to do with the buggy mess. He just designed mechanics, or at least spearheaded it, right? And I mean, the game plays fine. I don't know. I don't think he quit for like drama reasons. Probably just fucking quit. He
He's
said he
like,
worked there for like 8 years. So
He's like, I ain't
Yeah.
dealing with this.
He's been there for its entire development.
it's always easy to look at this shit whenever some like crazy stuff went down and be like, oh, he must have quit because of the bad press and the game being a buggy mess. It's like, I don't know. Probably not. Or maybe that is why he quit. Maybe he was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. But probably not.
Probably a little bit of everything. Office politics, regular politics. I don't know, maybe. Fuck this, I'm outing, and also I don't know, maybe even just a better job offer somewhere.
Came into his office and they were like, hey, do you want to develop Cyberpunk 2 for another 10 years before it comes out? And he was like, no, I'm good. I'm out.
So we got some calls about the gameplay in original Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk Online is due out in 2 years.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot about that. That's probably why he quit. Actually, he was like, God, I don't want to, I don't want to work on this games as a service, fucking multiplayer only SKU for however many years of my life. That's probably what it was. He was like, I didn't sign up for this shit. I signed up to work on like single player RPGs and shit and design mechanics for them. I don't want to do this fucking
Not
persistent
again.
online crap.
Here are my notes. Goodbye. Well, only he knows. Uh, segue. Wow, I'm bad today. Project Athia is now Forspoken. Game becomes game. It was, you probably saw the trailer. It was like Vine back of woman action RPG, and it turns
Woman
out that
around.
now we are Vine front of woman action RPG.
I uh I did you watch the weird little trailer they put out
I did
that I
not.
posted? You didn't? What
No.
the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So,
What the
I wasn't very interested in when it was Project Athena, so it's like when it got its title
all right.
drop,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
for
eh.
the sake of talking about it on the podcast, it would have been nice. But that's fine, dude. It's
That's
cool.
true.
I'll talk about it myself. So anyway, it was cool, I guess. I'm actually less excited about it now than I was when I didn't know anything about it. Um,
I read that it's like an isekai where it's like she's in Fantasyland, she's not from Fantasyland.
that's why I'm less excited about it. So when they first put out that trailer back when they announced this, and they were like, "Oh, it's Project Athia. It's mysterious," and all we knew was like woman running around, interesting looking environment. Game looked pretty, and there was like a kind of neat design dragon, and it was like, oh, this is like I'm vaguely interested in this. Maybe this will be kind of cool. Um, maybe this is gonna be like Square's fucking Dragon's Dogma or something like that. And then we get this little snippet, and it's like she's in like a building and she sees like a dragon in front of her and she's like, "Is that a motherfucking dragon?" Literally, I'm quoting it. She looks at it and she goes,
Uh,
"Is that a motherfucking dragon?" And then
on
she
this
hides from it.
motherfucking plane
And there's a fucking
of
there's like
existence.
a voice talking to her and it's like, "Yes, uh, we must flee." And it's like so not what I was expecting tonally from this game. I was expecting like interesting fantasy thing, and instead it's like fish out of water plot. I I'm not excited about it anymore, personally.
Rob, you watch the anime. What do you feel about isekai?
Hmm.
This will impact my relationship with you.
You
Anthony,
will
you'll
remember that.
for this. I think that they can be done all right, but there's a lot of there are some really bad ones out there. I think there are some that are pretty okay.
All right,
And
I will remember this. I don't like the concept like to begin with, like period. It's just so lazy and
oh yeah, it's definitely
stupid.
lazy. I didn't. It's definitely lazy. There's a lot of concepts that are lazy.
It's like, oh, I'm in the fantasy place, but I have modern sensibilities and opinions. And I don't mean it like some weird political thing, but where it's just like, the fish out of water, it's like one of the oldest things, and it's just, I don't care.
As someone who
Well,
does not watch the anime and is not approaching this with an opinion colored by that fact, um, I hold a similar belief. Like I said, I was more excited about this game when it was just cool, interestingly designed woman, female character running around an interestingly designed environment with an interestingly designed dragon. And I didn't have a trailer of a girl speaking in a very modern tone, being like literally saying word for word, "Is that a motherfucking dragon?" And the second she said that, I laughed and I was like, I'm out. I laughed at it. I was like, I'm not really interested in this anymore. It's
Uh,
unfortunate could have been something cool. I really thought from the original trailers, I legitimately was like, maybe this is gonna be Square's. I almost said SquareSoft. Maybe this is gonna be Square's
Heavenly Sword.
fucking like Dragon's Dogma or some shit. Especially since they just got that guy from Capcom
Yeah, that's
who's
true.
worked on games like that in the past. I was like, maybe this is gonna be what that is. Like a little fantasy offshoot game separate from like Final Fantasy games and shit. With interesting combat from what we had seen. And turns out that's probably not going to be the case. I mean, the gameplay might be fine, but like plot wise, I'm so fucking out.
It's so weird because it's like
And a motherfucking
you
dragon?
don't have to do that too. Like even if you want fish out of water, you could just be like, I'm from this fucking island. Like you don't have to be like, I'm from the year 2021.
We don't know. Like, we don't know what the plot is exactly, but it's looking like that's what it's going to be. I don't know if they've done an interview somewhere where they explain more. I'm literally just going off what the trailer shows. So the assumption is that, yes, it's like
Well, it's gotta
fish
be
out of
if she
water,
was
modern times.
if she was in fucking an office building and then there's a dragon that makes her respond with, is that a motherfucking dragon?
I don't remember if it was an office building. I just said a building.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was like an office building.
Was it a modern building?
She's in like a structure of some kind. She sees a dragon. You can go look at the fucking thing, and she's
could.
like, "It's a motherfucking dragon." And yeah, I'm out. Not interested.
It's a motherfucking dragon. Direct quote.
You absolutely wow me with gameplay that we have not seen yet, but
Let's see. Put the trailer in the chat so I can look at it.
it is. It's there. It's actually pretty
Far off.
close.
It's right above Galahad, which I didn't put on the news.
And salmon. Look for the woman holding salmon, and then
Is
go
it
up a little bit. Yeah,
Open beta.
it's 2 stories above woman holding salmon.
Here we go.
Forspoken. What a weird name too.
The actual gameplay mimics. The actress just talking about it. The actual gameplay starts at like 1:05.
How's that look? When you first saw it come up, were you like, is that motherfucking gameplay?
I hate it. I'm laughing again listening to the line.
Dragon looks neat.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said when they showed off the original fucking gameplay. I was like, wow, dragon design looks cool. I'm totally interested. And now I've seen this, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm just not into the is this a motherfucking dragon dialogue. But maybe when we see more, the
Is that a
gameplay will be
motherfucking dragon? You're
revolution.
right. That is the exact line.
Yes, I wasn't joking.
Fuck me.
You didn't believe it?
No, it's not I didn't believe it. I was just like, damn.
That's
It
how they're
looks very nice, but just goddamn.
Someone in the writing office got so many high fives for that line. They're
Around the
sitting in
water
the. All right, so she's in the monitor, and then the dragon flies by. What should she say? And then someone was like, "Why don't they just?" She says it like it is. Is that a motherfucking dragon? And everyone was like, "This is the best!" And just high fiving.
I feel like this game is just gonna be now that I've seen that. I feel like this is just gonna be like Square's single player driven like Uncharted game with like a mild fantasy spin on it. You know? Like that's probably what this is gonna be. And I'm very uninterested. It's unfortunate because I was actually very interested from the first shit that they showed. And now I'm not.
You've disappointed Brandon Square. Fucking.
You're dead. Nah, in my opinion, it's the one that
Shape up.
counts. Okay? It's not those other millions of people who buy your games. To me, on this podcast, where my voice reaches many single digits of people, you should be listening to me. You fucking pricks.
Spread our message.
Stop putting out endless trash.
Speaking of endless trash, endless Taiwanese. I butchered that.
I don't mean that,
just
by
make
the way.
that word.
All right, next story.
Square does not put out endless trash. I wanted to make a
They put out a
reference.
lot of trash though.
Right.
It's fine.
Well, no, not
Um,
recently.
Taiwan has a
Hell yeah.
promotion. Promotion is, hey, change your name to Salmon, and maybe you get some fish. And so many people did that the government is like, please stop.
Stop changing your name to Salmon.
Why are people
Please.
changing their name to Salmon?
Because they get a free salmon dinner, Rob.
Am I not poor enough to understand the need for a free salmon dinner?
You
Maybe
don't
not.
know
Okay,
the
so
economics of Taiwan. It could be hard.
Here's the
It's
backstory to
only
this.
an island.
Yeah.
How
Here's the
many
backstory to this.
fish can an island have?
From what I understand, name changes in Taiwan are actually very easy, which is why this is a thing. Apparently, you get like 3 in your
What?
life as a citizen. Yes, you can do it 3 times before you're just fucked and you're stuck with your 3rd name change. So as a result, and because apparently the process is quite simple, people are doing it because this restaurant's like, use one of your 3 name changes, change your shit to salmon, we'll give you a free meal. And the funniest part is I don't even think it's like a lifetime of fish or anything like that. It's just
One
like
meal.
like 1 meal or something like that. The best part is like people. There's been a few stories that were not in the article that I linked of people getting stuck with their name as salmon.
Oh no.
Apparently, there was one guy who I don't remember why. I don't recall the specifics of why his name got stuck as Salmon. I don't know if it was like his last name changed and he just didn't know that, or if there was some other legal reason for it. But he got stuck with the name Salmon Dream Chang.
I would hang out with Salmon Dream.
Which is kind of fucking incredible, honestly. And apparently, the only way legally he can get it switched back is if his dad also changes his name to Salmon. So he has to convince a parent to change their name to Salmon for some reason, and then he can switch his name back. I don't know why. I don't know the legality of this. I'm not up on my Taiwanese.
I guess
fucking...
because first last would be the same, and that would be confusing.
What are you saying?
Because both their first name and both their last name would be the same. Maybe they don't have like surnames like the second or the third.
Oh, maybe.
That's the only way I could think that okay, legally you can then change it.
Yeah, maybe. You might be
Clear up
right.
confusion.
But I lost my fucking mind when I heard Salmon Dream Chang. What a world, dude.
I feel bad. Like, what would you do if you had that power? You have 3 name changes. First off, how many people fuck themselves in high school when they pick their own nickname? You know?
Yeah.
And like, what if they do it too many times, and then it's like, I'm stuck being like Chad.
Chad Dream. Chad Salmon Dream. If you had 3 name changes,
Yeah.
you lived in a country where they were like, yo, dude, you get 3. It's a very simple process. You haven't used any yet. Would you change your name to Salmon and hope all went well in the process just to get a free
I'm not the
salmon dinner?
hugest
No.
fan of fish, but assuming it was something that I liked, because I don't also know the quality of the brand. Maybe that's like high-end shit, you know?
That's
Like,
true, yeah.
We don't know if this is like their McDonald's or if it's their like, gourmet restaurant salmon.
God, I wish my McDonald's offered salmon.
Only if you change your name to Salmon. Is
I'm
there
moving to
is there
Taiwan.
anyone in the United States right now named Filet of Fish?
Not for a promotion of any kind, but just because someone's a maniac, yes.
You know what, dude? Fucking Dovahkiin exists.
I mean, we know for a fact that there are babies out there that got named Turok and Shadow
Yeah,
Man.
that's true.
So, like,
And
that's
Dovahkiin, I think, is old enough to drive. Isn't that
really?
depressing to think about?
No. Really? When did Skyrim come out?
I'm Googling it right now.
Wasn't it like 2011? Yeah, it was 2011.
All right, so he's getting there.
No, he's not old enough to drive yet, but he's
He's
yeah,
getting
he's
well.
yeah, he's
Maybe
gonna.
maybe he's driving young. Okay, his dad lost his license drinking,
All right,
so he needed.
that makes sense because he named his kid Dovahkiin. So, God, I wish my name was Shadow Man. That'd be sick.
That'd be
Let's
pretty.
see.
Would that be one of your name changes?
If I had three like free and easy ones,
Yeah,
hell yeah, I'd be Shadow Man for a little while.
it's
I
not
do it
bad.
right now. I'm gonna move to Taiwan, get my Taiwanese citizenship, and then I'm gonna fucking name myself Shadow Man. It's gonna be sick. I don't know what the internet is like in Taiwan though, so the quality of my
It's
Discord audio
it's where they
drop off.
make all the graphics cards, so you could get those without, you know, selling your soul.
Yeah,
Mail them to me, please.
no, I'll keep them all for myself, and then I'll sell them. I'll scalp them to people in the U.S.
Well, yeah, you could do that. You could mail them to me to scalp, because that way we save, I think, overall on shipping.
No, that's all mine.
All right,
It's all
well,
my
whatever.
money.
Speaking of Asian promotions, a
Yeah, Shadow
Japanese, a Jap- shut up, Shadow Man. A Japanese company has made Monster Hunter Rise's launch day an official holiday because so many people were calling off for it.
Wow.
It's funny.
Monster Hunter is a strong series, particularly in Japan. Giga strong, much strongs. And it was going to cripple the company, or alternative theory, it's all a lie, and just the boss wanted to play Monster Hunter
Yeah.
Rise.
But he was like, "Fuck it, y'all have the day off. I'm coming in."
I'm not coming in. Fuck that. I'm looking forward to Rise. It sucks that it's not coming to PC for a bit, but
Yeah, I'm
time.
sad I have to wait like a year to
Yeah.
play it. I'm also kind of sad that the game is shackled in certain ways as a result of it being like a Switch focused game first and foremost. So like it bothers me when I watch people play it and I'm like, it doesn't look as good as World. Like the environments aren't as detailed and graphically it's just not as nice as World is. And I don't think they're gonna upgrade any of that shit for the PC port, to be completely honest. It'll be like, oh yeah, you can run it in like high resolutions, but they're not gonna touch like texture quality and shit like that, most likely. So that bothers me. But the game looks fun to play. I like the gameplay stuff that I've seen. It looks interesting.
Yep.
Have you seen that apparently due to the limitations of the Switch hardware, you can only have like 4 people in the gathering hub?
Oh, that sucks. I mean, that's
Yep.
fine. That's all you arguably need.
Yeah, it's lame though.
But it does suck because there's a lot of fun thing. Well, it depends. Maybe it's like World and the Gathering Hub just sucks anyway, so no one uses it anyway.
Iceborne fixed that though.
Right, but is it remained fixed? They knew enough to totally ruin it for World.
That's true, yeah. Um, I don't know. I would like to think they're coming off the back of Iceborne, that it'll certain things will be implemented in an Iceborne-esque fashion, but you never know. Apparently, there's rumors circulating. I don't think this is confirmed yet, but there's rumors circulating of a Switch Pro in the future, which will
Yep.
essentially be like a Switch but more powerful. So people are saying that at some point when that happens, there might be like a new SKU of Rise, or like what Iceborne is to World, but for Rise instead. And with it may come a host of like Switch Pro upgrades, which would probably influence the PC version as well.
Well, it all
So
depends
maybe
on when that SKU comes out, because what it could do is that they make it for PC and then they reverse port the PC version instead.
oh, Anthony, they're not going to do that.
You never know. It all depends on development time, and also because like if this pro version comes out tomorrow, sure, yeah, that version of events makes sense. But if it comes out after the PC release, then
An-
it would make more sense to do the.
Anthony.
I
Anthony.
know it's Japan. I know.
No, it's Japan. It's Capcom. They don't. They are PC
Illiterate.
inept. Let's
Hmm.
just say to use a more soft and cuddly word. They're not PC oriented. For fuck's sake, we're not getting DMC5 Special Edition on PC at all. I don't think they're gonna fucking develop anything with PC in mind and then reverse port it for a fucking console.
Yeah, good point.
We'll get whatever the Switch Pro version is, but just for the PC version, whenever that happens. I'm excited about this game though. I just wish it looked nicer, but limitations of a Switch-focused game, I suppose. I'm spoiled by how nice World looks on PC with the high-res textures and shit.
I'm not looking forward to the continued like console war bullshit.
What do you mean?
Man.
Well, it's complaining that it's Switch exclusive and not on like PlayStation.
No, not only that,
So,
that this is the worst. There's been a constant undercurrent of World ruined Monster Hunter and casualized it or
fuck
whatever,
off.
and that was just because it wasn't on Nintendo. And now that Rise is coming out, people are like, Rise is gonna do way better than World did, which I think is physically impossible. It's gonna do very well.
Why would people even say? First of all, I would like to point out that reviews are in for Rise, and a lot of people are saying that it's like pretty comparable to World, like in terms of difficulty, even. So if
Yeah.
your argument is that World fucked Monster Hunter up and casualized it, Rise appears to just be more of the same
Well, it's
in
very
terms of
obvious if you watch any
difficulty.
gameplay, but we're talking to zealots here. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I get that. They're not reasonable. I understand, but
which unfortunately,
still.
so the existence of zealots then creates anti-zealots. So like now, even if it's like a big success, there's going to be some world hardasses that are going to come out and be like, didn't sell as much as World, when it's completely irrelevant. It's more Monster Hunter. That's what you should take away from it and be happy about. Is more of the good game got released is also good.
I'll be honest. I'm an opposite. I guess I am kind of like an anti-zealot in the sense that like Rise does disappoint me in some facets. I don't like that Capcom returned to developing Monster Hunter as like a Nintendo exclusive that comes to PC eventually, but you get my point. Because as a result of doing that, it's burdened in some ways, where World was not because it was developed for stronger hardware. It was a generally better game in terms of aesthetic and graphics. This
I
game,
would argue aesthetic. Graphics,
why?
yes. I don't know. I like the kind of like
I'm not
Japanese
talking art
theme.
style. I'm just saying quality and like
Eh.
resolution
See,
and like.
whenever I hear aesthetic, I always think about like art style.
All right, well,
Like
I'm not
as
saying art style. Like you can like the art style, that's fine. But even with the change in art style, it doesn't look as nice as World. Like period, it just doesn't. The environments aren't as detailed. There's not as much shit going on in them. The character models don't look as good. And that sucks. And that's entirely because they're developing this for a Switch first and nothing else other than PC way later, which will just be a rip of the fucking Switch version anyway. So like that blows. So to all those people who are like excited that Rise is Nintendo exclusive, I say to you, congratulations, you got a shittier version of what this game could have been if it was developed for every other thing at the same time. Like, think about it like that. It's kind of insane, actually, when you think about it. Because if this game was developed like World, but just had a Switch version, it probably would be a better looking game. You know what I mean? It would be
arguably.
shittier on Switch.
Yeah, but there's a point where it's like you can't just nuke resolution, you know.
No, I get that. So even if you include a Switch port, it wouldn't be as good as World. I'm not ignorant to how that works. but it would still, I think it would be a bit better because when the plan internally at Capcom is we're just making a Switch game, you just say fuck it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do anything other than fit something into the constraints of the Switch platform and then go, here's a PC version, like maybe you can up-res it to like 4K if you want to, but like if this game had like a PlayStation or an Xbox version or something like that, I bet there would be like a mild difference in graphical quality. It would just look shittier on Switch. They have to do less because the only version of it that they're making is a Switch version. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but
Less
we'll see.
graphical, less work on like assets, making them look nice. It's not a matter of like making something that looks better on like Xbox or PlayStation and then just like shitting it up. Like a Apex Legends port as opposed to a PC version. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if this game it were developed in the vein of World, because you could probably get World to run on a Switch. It would just look like dog shit.
I can't wait
You know what I mean?
to get Rise's PC port, where it's like the much more simplified, literally everything, and it's still being a terrible PC port that like has like frame drops and and all sorts of other nightmares because they can't code the video games sometimes.
I mean, who knows? I don't even know if they ever did improve Iceborne on PC, but those games didn't launch in great states, so I'm sure Rise's port will not launch in a great state either. But it's probably going to be less taxing on most people's systems because of how it looks, as opposed to World. I don't think it's going to be as intense on people's GPUs or CPUs because it just doesn't look as good as World. Like straight up, graphically, the game does not look as good. The environments aren't as detailed. Shit doesn't look as crazy. It's good news for people with shittier computers. Like it's not gonna hit you as hard as World did.
Yeah. Our next story is Ikumi Nakamura opens an indie studio. Yay! For those of
Yeah.
you who have no idea who this lady is, she is very good and works a lot on horror games. She worked on Evil Within. She worked on Silent Hill. The announcement of this indie studio was announced during a special where she was investigating abandoned buildings. Just 'cause she likes horror, she's going to make horror stuff. That's good.
I remember this lady because she like broke the internet the day that she.
'Cause she is acute and the internet has yellow fever.
Yeah. Wow, very racial term there, Anthony. Wow.
Would you rather me say they have slanty
Okay. All
fever?
right.
Like
Anyway.
Oh, moving on. Next story.
It's a term. It's not has
Anywho.
anything. There are people who like Asian people out there.
And our next story is Microsoft allows FTP games to be F2P.
Are you really gonna sandbag the entire story over that? Oh, come on. Come on, she's gonna make horror games. She's good at them.
Yeah, she's gonna make games.
She
It's
also
pretty
makes
cool.
some losers come. That happens. It's welcome to the world.
Oh no. Just keep saying it. Now we're talking about
Okay,
boomers.
why did she break the internet if not that, Brandon?
I was just
Riddle
saying
me fucking
very
that.
PC way of saying made dudes coom. Okay, I didn't say made dudes coom. I just said, you know, people liked her. You know, it was a nice response. You know, to her being on stage.
You said specifically they broke the internet. You know what image breaking the internet is associated with? And it involves a gigantic ass.
I know. Yeah. I knew what I was saying, okay? I just didn't say fucking yellow fever, all right? I put it in a
That's a
very
term. I'm
I put
not
it in a
calling
much
her a
softer fashion.
yellow.
Wow, dudes watched that presentation and just fucking jerked it and coomed all over their screens. It was so fucking sick, dude. Like, no, I just said,
People did. This is an unfortunate. People probably watched.
I subtly implied coom, okay?
Probably, people probably watched Forspoken and coomed. Alright? This is the world
yeah.
we live in. I'm not
There
saying
are
a
many
grand
coomers.
majority, and I'm definitely not saying that is the only reason she's popular. There's a reason I led it with her development credentials and experience and the genre that she's a fan of. This is the lady that was said, hey, maybe we should tone it down to her ideas for Silent Hill. She was too much for Silent Hill. You should be excited for what she's going to create.
Well, which game in particular?
I can't remember. Let me look for Spycifics.
Fucking top comment of the IGN article, the first one. That chick is super cute.
That
Rumors are out there. They're out there. Wow, there's some real fucking weirdos in the comment section of an IGN article. I'm not even gonna quote some of this. The fuck? Some real coomers out there, man. Goddamn. Apparently, she had told IGN Japan in 2020 that she had plans to pitch a new Okami game to Capcom. That's kind of cool. That's a series people would like more of. Have you found it? How's your Googling going?
This Googling is very poor. There's not a lot of information about her, honestly.
Other than the coomers.
Yeah, that was very obvious. I don't
Yeah.
think you needed any research for that one.
All right, coomers. What else?
Get
Coomers.
excited
She has a new studio. You can go coom over there.
Yep. She's gonna do great work.
Yes. Coom in the direction of that studio.
Fucking filthy coomers. I'm looking at you, IGN comment section. You're fucking gross. Kind of freaking me out a little bit.
I don't judge you. People.
I always find that that's where you really find the weirdos. You know, like when you go to like
the comment
you have to be a
section.
special brand of insane to have like an account on IGN to like comment on an article. You know?
Yeah.
Straight up. No offense to you, viewer, if you have a account that you comment on IGN articles with. However, I'm just saying that's really where you find the strange people. That's where you find. I'm not helping my case. I just called a lot of people weirdos, but they are.
Hey, you're weird. We're weird. It's all good. It's all good,
Yeah,
brother.
you should read some of those comments on that article. There's some real coomers.
You know what? And maybe they do really good.
They don't do anything good at all with their lives. They're commenting on an IGN article.
You don't know that.
They're not doing anything good. No.
You do good stuff, and I'm aware that you occasionally coom.
I don't do anything good, and I also don't comment on IGN articles, even if I did do anything good.
You don't do that. That is true.
Yeah.
This is the truth.
Anyway, next story. I'm sick of coom. It's coom filling my ears.
I have the opposite problem. I can't coom.
You can't coom?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No,
I don't
it's
know. Is this a podcast topic? What are we doing?
it's just where
are we going here?
I don't know. Anywhere I take it is bad, but I can't. But I can't leave it like lying because people are gonna think I'm like infertile or some shit.
We've been on some really. We've been on some really crazy shit this podcast. I like it. Now we're getting on the coom. Continue.
I am a lonely nerd. That was what I was getting at.
What does that have to do with not being able to coom though? You coom.
Yeah, it's not the same. Come on.
Oh, okay, right. I see. Well, the way you phrased it sounded like I'm physically incapable of
Right,
gaming,
that's
not
why I had to keep commenting, but I also didn't want to
right.
come off as the creep. It's just like, I wish I had a female to inseminate. I didn't want to do that.
Well, you just did. All right, next story.
That's not me. Microsoft is allowing free-to-play games to be free to play. You know
Yep.
that gold account that you've been paying into for fucking years now, may not need it quite as much in the future because now you can chat on a silver, you can group chat across games and stuff, and free-to-play games, you're finally not paying twice to use the internet that you pay for.
Honestly, this is kind of a huge story.
Oh yeah,
If you're someone who still plays games like multiplayer, free to play shit on an Xbox, like if you play your Futnut or your Apex or your COD Warzone or whatever the fuck you choose to play through your Xbox, this is kind of massive. Like not having to pay for Xbox Live Gold in order to play that shit, which I would venture to guess is probably where the majority of people playing multiplayer games are on a
yeah.
console, probably on games like that, like Warzone, Futnut, Apex, all that shit. That's probably the vast majority of people online gaming on a console nowadays. So
Yeah.
that's a big deal. Like if that's all you do, if you're not like,
You get to save $50 a year.
that's kind of incredible, honestly. I wonder if I would assume since Sony typically does this that they will follow suit and just kind of like rip this off, which is good. Honestly, if they do, it's better for both crowds of people. I mean, Sony has like their own fucking version of Game Pass now, I believe, because they're trying to ape that shit. And
Can we just take a step back and just say what the fuck? Because
what?
it's like Nintendo is just tone deaf and whatever, but they've been consistently tone deaf. That's fine.
Oh,
Uh, how did Microsoft go from the absolute embarrassment that was like the Xbox One X launch of like who doesn't have internet? What do you mean this would be bad? Yeah, it's coming with Kinect. You don't want a camera watching you all the time. To now where it's like, oh yeah, we shouldn't charge people for this. While meanwhile Sony at that time released a video of it's like, look, you could share a game just by handing it to your friend. They're really dumb and out of touch. To now it's like, you shouldn't download the PlayStation 3, PSP, or Vita games. That's stupid. Let's delete all that. Like, what occurred?
I don't know. It is kind of interesting because it's like I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but I honestly think that Microsoft's strategy with the Xbox is not to I I don't know that they give a shit anymore about selling gold subscriptions. I think they're all in on Game Pass, to be
Mm,
frank. So like if they say, "Hey, if you are like a COD Warzone player, but you don't want to pay for our subscription service, play it on a buy an Xbox, play it on an Xbox. We won't charge you for online functionality, but while you're here, every time you turn it on, you're gonna see like, here's our new additions to Xbox Game Pass, and they really want you to buy that shit instead. You know, they still have a plan here. And then if you're like buying Game Pass, I'm assuming that if a Game Pass game comes with online functionality that you want to experience, you probably have to sub to Xbox Live Gold in order to play that.
yeah.
So this is how they this is how they I assume that's the strategy is to lure you in with Game Pass, then get you to pay for gold if you want to play any of those games online.
I think I've said it before. Game Pass, it's disgusting that you're paying to not own anything, but really good deal what you're not owning. Like
I mean,
it's
it's the fucking like
pretty solid value.
it's it's like music streaming, but for games. You know, it's like your Spotify or your Apple subscription, but for gaming. And I mean, if you're fine with that, it's honestly kind of an insanely good deal, especially now after the Bethesda acquisition. Like, I can't deny that Game Pass is kind of intense. You pay for that shit, you get access to an absolute fuckload of games. They're adding all kinds of shit that's not even first party or Bethesda related, such as Nier Automata to Game Pass. Like, monthly fee and you just get to play all of this. Like, that's a very good deal, and I guess that's their whole shtick. Lure them in if you're like a fucking free to play game lover. Lure them in by being like, you don't have to pay for gold to play this, and while you're here, maybe you pick up Game Pass. That's my assumption. They sell a console to someone who might not otherwise have bought it, because now imagine that you're someone who's like typically been a PlayStation user, and you're looking at it and you're like, well, typically, currently, I only turn this on to play like COD or something, right? And it's like,
I don't want to rebuy my games.
if I just move over to Xbox, like, sure, I have to buy an Xbox, but if I move over to Xbox, I could buy an Xbox, keep my PlayStation, but I could buy an Xbox and not have to pay for fucking like PS Plus in order to play COD Warzone online. That's probably what they're thinking. Make more money on console sales and shit by luring people over who don't want to have to pay a subscription service just to play fucking COD or Futnut or whatever. It makes sense, and then maybe you sell Game Pass to them. It's cool. I honestly I think it's a smart move. It's nothing but good for people who play games like that and don't play anything else.
Word.
I mean, think about it. Even if you're like, even if you play shit like if you own an Xbox and you play shit like Doom or like Nier through Game Pass or something, or games like that, where like maybe they have online functionality, like in the case of Doom, but you don't intend to touch it because it's not really the driving force behind the game. It's like, get your Xbox, don't pay for gold, play your COD and shit. You still get to play all your other shit, and you don't have to pay for gold because you don't give a fuck about the online functionality of any of those games. It's just a fucking benefit, honestly. It's a pretty intelligent move.
Pretty damn good move. And that's the news.
Wow.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Wow, I hate all of you.
Yeah.
I especially hate people who give Snyder Cut 2 thumbs up. I'm talking to you, Richie. Are you listening? Are you listening, Richie?
Wherever you
He's
are.
not listening.
Rich, if you listen to this,
You know he's going to listen to the podcast.
He's not going to fucking listen to this. Do you think he's going to listen to this?
Podcasts.
Richie, if you're listening to this, I want you to fucking comment. Bring up the Camel Channel Discord thing and comment on it right now and say, yes, I am listening to this.
Well, he's not going to do it right. He's not. I don't mean actively. I mean after.
No, I mean,
upload it.
no, of course not. I'm saying after you upload this, he's
We're
going to
not
hear me
going
say that.
live. We're not going live.
Oh, okay.
He's going to hear me say that when you upload this. I'm going to be like jerking off or something, and then
Sorry, I
I'm going
was
to hear Discord
confused.
ping.
And then you're going to come.
Yeah, and then I'm going to coom, and I'm going to see him say, yes, I'm listening to this.
No, that's what's going to make you coom.
Yes,
You will
that
have
will be the
gotten
finisher.
satisfaction.
I know why you missed the podcast.
What
Rich.
the fuck? I'm ending this. This is
Welcome
terrible.
to the Coomcast.
Bye.